into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I want to say like, yeah, woo.
I'm going to do it. Yay! Good morning, everybody.
Boo. Boo. The Springboks lost. Boo. I don't know why it affects me. I don't know. I really haven't, like, the whole weekend, pretty much. I was just, it built it up. I built it up so much in my mind. They played all right, though. Okay, so we still have you, Springboks. But some sporting action, yes, we shall delve into this weekend. And most importantly, we have you in our company for the next 3 hours, which really does make us smile.
Yes, Jamie Dominic reporting live for duty. Now, we've got some good-looking people in studio today, and I'm not talking about just UG with a new haircut. We are meeting the contestants from season 2 of The Longest Date. Now, we have personal trainer Angelo, we have exotic dancer Ikram Kasim, as well as choreographer Tyler Spellman. I mean, listen, it is going to be heating up today on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and I can't wait. Can you see, that is actually why I'm smiling.
You like the sauce, though, eh?
I love it.
You changed, man. She really is, eh? This is what she thrives on this morning. So hopefully you thrive on that as well. We're going to have a lot of fun with them. That game, I think if you enter something like The Longest Date, clearly you are ready for a little bit of fun and excitement. So hopefully we'll start that journey here. And then, of course, we're going to be sinking our teeth into all of the other amazing things that we get to do on a Monday morning after a weekend, the start of a brand new week. There's a little bit of fitness, there's a lot of cooking. It's going to be wholesome, it's going to be amazing. But, of course, we will really relish the opportunity of getting an inside view into what sounds like an amazing program. But we've got to ask an important question on social media first that I think is going to bring about some very funny responses. Good morning, gang.
Morning, G.
Morning.
Oh, my goodness. I'm very excited for today's show based on our social media question.
It is a cool one, and we're going to have fun with this morning, of course. The question this morning is something to do with the show's theme. We're talking about The Longest Date. So we asked you, why not tell us what your worst date you've ever been on was, and what actually happened on the date?
Oh, I'm here for that.
You got any stories, though?
I was thinking about it. I feel like I've been very blessed not to have been on a bad date. I think the worst that has happened was there was one guy that was 15 minutes late, and then another one was he realized the date wasn't going anywhere, so he split the bill with me.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I appreciate the honesty. I mean, for me, it's quite simple. I went on a date, Zoe, and my partner didn't hike, didn't swim, no nature, but done. I walked out of the date. I left her. I walked out. But you guys let us know what your worst date has been, of course. Come through on our social media channels. But before we get into all the good stuff, let's find out what's happening first up in the news.
Thank you so much, guys. Just 2 minutes after 6 o'clock, it's time to have a first look at what's happening in and around the world. Now, starting with your national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa last night moved South Africa back to an adjusted alert level 3 lockdown. Now, the country had been on alert level 4 for 4 weeks as a spike in cases, with Gauteng being the epicenter, drove the country's third wave. He also said the latest figures suggest that the country had largely passed the peak of the third wave. Now, among several announcements, he said that the social relief and disaster allowance of 350 Rand per month would be reinstated and would last until the 31st of March 2022. And then more news with regards to South Africa being back to alert level 3 lockdown is that alcohol sales from Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. will again be allowed, as well as interprovincial travel for leisure. Now, the curfew from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. remains. Non-essential establishments, including restaurants, taverns, bars and fitness centers, may open but have to close by 9 p.m. Now, gatherings are also allowed, limited to a maximum of 50 people for indoor and 100 for outdoor events. Now, these include religious, social, political and cultural gatherings. Night vigils and after-funeral gatherings remain banned. And then looking to news further abroad, the first direct commercial flights between Morocco and Israel were launched yesterday following an agreement to normalize relations between the two countries at the end of last year. Now, two Israeli airlines, El Al and Israel, are each carrying passengers from Tel Aviv to Marrakesh in the first of what are regularly scheduled flights. Morocco was once home to one of the largest Jewish communities in North Africa and the Middle East. Now, some 3,000 remain, while hundreds of thousands of Israelis have Moroccan ancestry. And then more than 22,000 Afghan families have fled from their homes to escape fighting in the former Taliban bastion of Kandahar. Now, since early May, violence has surged across several provinces after the insurgents launched a sweeping offensive just days after the US-led foreign forces began their final withdrawal. Now, the Taliban has since captured scores of districts, crossed borders, and encircled several provincial capitals. And then some time ago, we also told you about Jalmar Ralph from Ruby Castile in the Western Cape, who graduated from Pretoria University with a BSc Honours in Physics, cum laude, at the age of 18. Now, another South African whiz kid whose zeal and discipline have left many awestruck is Takalo Tebela. Now, this 21-year-old is already a qualified medical doctor. In fact, she's the youngest medical doctor in South Africa and on the African continent. She hails from the village of Violent Bank near Bushbuck Ridge, Mpumalanga, and matriculated at Lela Sedi High School with 7 distinctions at the age of 15. Now, thanks to a bursary from the Industrial Development Corporation, she was admitted to Wits University at the age of 16, enrolling for the 6-year degree Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Now, her academic excellence has earned her the Golden Key International membership, in recognition for students who are faring brilliantly academically and also excelling at universities all over the world. She's presently doing her practical year at Helen Joseph Hospital in Auckland Park, Johannesburg, and we can't wait to see what she does in the industry. Well, that is where I leave your 6 o'clock news. Here is G with a first look at the sports.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Let's start with the Olympics. After her record-breaking performance in the women's 100-meter breaststroke heats, it was another strong performance for South Africa's medal hopeful Tatjana Schoenmaker in the semi-final early this morning. So yesterday, the 24-year-old set a new Olympic record, finishing in a time of 1 minute, 4.82 seconds, and in so doing, beating American Lily King's record from Rio back in 2016. Schoenmaker was, at least now, has progressed to tomorrow's final as the fastest qualifier, in fact, after winning her semi in a time of 1 minute 5.07 seconds. So definitely a medal on the cards. Then we turn to sevens rugby. The Springbok Sevens team started their Olympic campaign with a win over Ireland. That was in their Pool C opener in the Rugby Sevens tournament at the Tokyo Stadium early this morning. Blitzboks remain without their head coach, though, Neil Powell, who's still recovering from COVID-19. Zane Davids and MP Visser scored a try apiece in the first half to give South Africa a 14-7 lead at the break. Then Justin Geduld, Chris Dry and Stedman Gans, all adding 3 more in the final 7 minutes to hand the Blitzboks that 33-14 victory. So South Africa will face old continental foes Kenya in their second pool match at 11:58 a.m. today. Then on to rugby, international rugby, and what a test it was. The second half comeback by the British and Irish Lions sealed a 22-17 victory over the Springboks in the first of their 3 test matches at the Cape Town Stadium on Saturday. Fly-off Andre Pollard converted 4 penalties to give South Africa a 12-3 lead at the break, but the visitors fought back in that final 40 minutes to win the first test match against the Springboks in that Lions series. The next again will be at Cape Town Stadium next Saturday. And then keeping it local, Currie Cup action continued this weekend with victories for the Bulls, Sharks and Western Province. So Justin Late scored 2 tries as Western Province bounced back to beat the Pumas 37-23 in Nelspruit. The Sharks returned to Currie Cup action by beating the Cheetahs in style with a 47-30 bonus point victory. And then reigning champions, the Bulls, we saw it, expected this result, and they did follow through a 40-21 win over the Lions at Loftus Versfeld. That, of course, yesterday. So the Currie Cup action will continue again on Friday, the 30th of July. And then it was a dead rubber, but the Proteas sealed the deal. They claimed a 3-0 whitewash over Ireland after winning that third and final T20 international match at the Civil Service Cricket Club in Belfast on Saturday. Skipper Temba Bavuma and Reza Hendricks putting on 127 for the opening stand to guide South Africa to a 189 for 2 total. Ireland only reaching 140 for 9 as the Proteas registered a comfortable 49-run victory in the end. Well, Coach Cookie is standing by to take us through all of the permutations and details. Mixed bag of results coming out of the Olympics, but we'll delve into that in just a moment. Right now, let's see what the weather has in store.
Thank you, Graham. And if you thought it was colder than usual last week, you were absolutely right. The South African Weather Service says at least 19 low temperature records were broken following the icy conditions across the country. Temperatures in some areas were well below freezing on Thursday night, which has since been dubbed the coldest night in the country this year. Several records were broken, including in Kroonstad in the Free State, which recorded -8 degrees, Bronkhorstspruit -7.4 degrees Celsius, and Warden at -6.7 degrees Celsius. Kimberley in the Northern Cape recorded the coldest recent minimum temperature at -9.9 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, several people who ignored the closure of the road over the Swartberg Pass near Oudtshoorn in the Little Karoo had to be rescued after heavy snowfall yesterday. And while we love all things local, we also love the fact that we have a growing international audience tuning in daily. We also love exploring and learning about other cultures around the world, which brings us to our next and first international city feature this morning as we head on over to Morocco and the city of Marrakesh. The city was founded in the year 1070 by Emir Abu Bakr ibn Umar. The red walls of the city and various buildings constructed in red sandstone afterwards have given the city the nickname of the Red City. Marrakesh comprises an old fortified city packed with vendors and their stalls. This Medina Quarter, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a densely packed walled medieval city dating to the Berber Empire, with maze-like alleys where thriving souks sell traditional textiles, pottery and jewelry. A symbol of the city and visible for miles is the minaret of 12th century Koutoubia Mosque. Now today, Marrakesh is one of the busiest cities in Africa and serves as a major economic center and tourist destination. Any viewers in Marrakesh can prepare for a sun-filled day ahead, reaching a hot maximum of 36 degrees Celsius. And what would our weather segments be without some of our gorgeous sunrise photos? And we always have some amazing ones to share with you that got sent in via our Facebook page. Starting us off this morning is Brad Bennett from Umkomaas in KZN, who captured the sun rising over the peaceful ocean as the boat launches into the ocean. And then Miranda Bloch from the Atlantic seaboard in Cape Town managed to photograph this beautiful rainbow cast over the area after some of the rainfall last week. Thank you for those beautiful images, and please do continue to share with us your sunrise photos, and you can do so on the Expresso Facebook page. Were you in any of the areas that expected some snowfall over the weekend? Well, we would love to see any photos that you might have taken of the snow. Please share that with us on the Expresso Facebook page. Let's look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a partly cloudy day with a low of 2, a high of 16. Mbombela 6 to 21, Pretoria 2 to 17, sunny conditions in Johannesburg 2 with a high of 14, Mahikeng 1 to 18 for today, Klerksdorp -1 reaching a high of 18, Kimberley, your low is 1, your high 18, Bloemfontein a cool -3 reaching a high of 18, sunny conditions in Richards Bay 13 with a high of 22, Pietermaritzburg 4 to 24, Durban 11 to 23, Mthatha 1 reaching a high of 23. Partly cloudy conditions in East London 15-23, Cradock 3 reaching a high of 21 for today, Gqeberha 13 reaching a high of 24, partly cloudy conditions in George 16 with a high of 24, Cape Town 13 with a high of 23 for today, Worcester 11 with a high of 23, Sutherland 2 17, and Uppington expect a low of 8 and a high of 21 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. Another update coming your way shortly after 7.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Let's get to the heart of the matter right now. Let's be honest, just one small act of generosity can help Cadbury Dairy Milk achieve their awesome goal to co-author 1,500 children's storybooks in African languages by 2023. So by simply sharing one word as part of our hashtag In Our Own Words initiative, South Africans will be a part of that change. So stand up Have a voice.
Exciting stuff. We're stepping up things a bit.
Okay.
So you can join us this morning and translate a brand new word. It's a lot of fun. We've been doing this for the past couple of weeks. This morning's word is magic. Okay.
Oh, that might be my favourite word.
Is it?
Until now, right up there
That's
with
one of my words, man.
Look
I
at you
love that.
getting excited for the brand new words. Now, you're going to tell us what this word is when it's translated into Sepedi. Now, our new African language focus for the week is Sepedi.
Sepedi,
So,
cool.
magic in Sepedi is Maliatlana.
Maliatlana.
Maliatlana. Now, I need you to say it with the magic, with that excitement that you had when I said the word is magic.
Hello, you Maliatlana people.
Oh, yes, this is so you. This word is exactly
I
for
don't know if
you.
you can use it like that, man. I don't-
Maybe not, but it felt right, G.
But it is. It's a lovely word, and it rolls off the tongue, hey? That's
And
beautiful.
also at the same time, how many words or how many stories actually invoke that word of magic? How much excitement, how much passion, how much just desire comes out of that word as
house.
well.
Yeah, man. You have a cool little animal, like I don't know, what was our first one? Aardvark. I'm sure made it in there.
No, I'm sure that was not.
Yeah, maybe Zoe might have suggested that. We've got the puppy, we've got the snail, we've got the serpent, and the snake as well, with a little bit of magic. Ooh, you got a tail.
No,
You got a
but
tail,
imagine this
man.
book is starting to come together indeed, so you guys can help us ensure that all children can enjoy enchanting African language tales in their own language by translating just one word a day to help co-author a library of African language children's storybooks. Now use that hashtag in our own words and visit cadbury.co.za and at Cadbury Dairy Milk SA on Facebook or Cadbury_SA on Twitter and Instagram. And you can start sharing your words and compiling all this magic, or as we like to say,
Maliatlana. Hey, you Maliatlana people.
Only you can make my day.
welcome back to the Maliatlana, you beautiful people. Now, we know that Monday mornings can often be difficult when it comes to motivation. With errands to run, you've got work to be done, and all of this while trying to stay safe and protected as we face a pandemic that can leave you feeling just a little bit blue.
But let me tell you, there's no Monday blues on your Feel Good Breakfast show as we start every week off on that right note. Now, singer and songwriter Damien van der Merwe is here to lift your spirits for Gospel Monday. Before we get into speaking to him, take a look at this.
I am blessed in the street, I am blessed in my home, I am blessed, that's why I'm singing the song. I am blessed in the street, I am blessed in my home, I am blessed, that's why I'm singing the song.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
coming out, I know I am blessed.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
I am blessed. I got a roof up above me. I got a fine place to sleep.
Can we get?
Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, let's welcome to the building Damien van der Merwe. Morning, brother. How are you doing, man?
Very well, and yourself?
Are we excited
You
to
are
see
blessed.
Jamie's
You should
just
say, I am
smiling and ready for
blessed.
this. But of course, I got to get into the business, man. Where did this all start? Your passion for music, the reason to get into gospel music, amongst all else. What was the reason for you using that beautiful voice to serve, man?
You know, it started, I grew up in a very musical family. So I was always the guy in the garage, wherever rehearsals were taking place. Always just, and it grew on me. And after that, it went into high school, the school choir. From there, 2019, I took the bold step. I released my first debut single, Through the Storm. And after that, I just thought, you know what, why don't keep the momentum out there? The feedback was quite nice. And gospel music just has that message behind it. I think it just keeps you grounded. I know each and every one just have that strong belief inside of us. So whatever we're going through a tough time, is always that one song or that one message that you can go to and it can just uplift you. But so it's definitely the message behind the story that I want to put out there, the message I want to portray with every song. I think that's what got me into.
I love that, man.
into
It sounds like from a young
Yeah.
age, the divine has been reminding you of your purpose, and here you are serving it in front of the whole of Mzansi, man.
Wow.
Beautiful stuff.
Damien, now you are taking us to church this morning. You have some good oldies coming through. God will make a way. But your story wasn't always smooth. I mean, I believe you were a victim of bullying when you were in school. But I mean, surely that has paved you or just helped shape the person you are today. How did you get through that phase of your life?
No, definitely. I think it was a bit hectic in the beginning because sometimes you feel that this is how it must be. And going into my academic career, I couldn't react to it when it was still some forms of bullying. But I think it was when the confidence booster came, when I just thought, you know what, sometimes you need to identify when you're being mistreated, man. And sometimes you must just take that bold step. And it doesn't need to be anything aggressive, anything heavy. I can recall I was on college. Then my fellow student of mine, and he told me, but this person was just rude to you now. What are you gonna do? Nothing. And that's because I was in that manner. I couldn't react to when someone was mistreating me. So I just thought, you know what, I mean, sometimes you just need to take that bold step, man, and just say, you know what, till here and no more. So it's tough in the beginning, but if you do it once, next time it's gonna be easier.
I absolutely love it, man, and I think it's so pertinent, so true. But back to some of the magic that we're going to be performing today. We've got a Gospel Monday, of course. That's the big reason why you're here. We want to hear more about you, feel you, see you, experience you. But what do you think has been the top song in the polls this morning, and what are you looking forward to performing the most before we get into it?
Okay, I was actually feeling a quirky.
Hey.
I wanted to take us a bit to church. But I think the old school ones probably did good. God will make a way. I think my original song, I Am Blessed, probably in the mix also there. So, yeah.
I'm very excited. God Will Make a Way is one of my favorite songs. But Damien van der Merwe is here on your Feel Good Breakfast show with 3 performances for Gospel Monday. So stick around here on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Thanks, Jamie. And you know what? From classic tunes to classic dishes, this morning we're putting a trendy twist on your favorite breakfast.
We've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, well, I don't know about you, but we all love on set banana pancakes, and there are even songs about them. But what about pancake bananas? You may have seen them pancakes, you know, covered bananas exploding all over TikTok, and it's no surprise why everyone's going bananas for it. Now, this might just be your next favorite breakfast, and Teresa, she's in studio to show us how it's done, and this can also be best served with Clover classic custard. So we're having some fun this morning in the studio. I love trying trendy new food ideas.
And a lot of fun. I love fun food and something that the kids can make and really enjoy in the morning.
Okay, so where are we going to start with this recipe?
So I'll do the pancake batter and then you can slice our bananas to go inside.
I'll get the bananas going.
So I've got some flour in the bowl. I'm going to add some sugar, a pinch of salt and a bit of baking powder.
Okay. So you're essentially making our pancake batter.
Yeah, very, very basic pancake batter. So it's ingredients you'll have in the cupboard, which is great. And I'm going to add some milk and an egg and some vanilla.
There we go. I'm going to
Very
actually
nice
slice them together.
This is actually one of the first things my kids learn to make on their own is pancakes.
With the banana or just on its own?
I haven't done the banana, so I think I'm going to do that next time.
One of my best friends, she just makes her banana pancakes and it always tastes so delicious.
And you've got that wholesome element as well, which is great. You're introducing some fruit, which is always good.
There we go.
So that's looking good. So I'm just going to whisk that until it's nice and smooth.
And I've got your bananas ready for you.
Brilliant.
That was actually quite quick. I have to tell you, so I made a smoothie and it called for frozen banana because it's quite yummy to have it frozen. Then it retains that slushiness.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to peel the banana before you pop it in the freezer.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Big mistake. So chop it up and then pop it in the freezer. Lesson learned.
That's what I do, especially when the bananas are starting to turn and you don't know what to do with them. Pop them in the freezer once you peeled them. And then... yeah, they're brilliant for smoothies.
So now you're simply just adding the bananas into the batter, making sure they're coated.
So I'm going to pop them in here, just coat them nicely, and then pop them into your pan. So I've just melted our butter here, and you're just going to pop them in.
We are making this almost like a delicious breakfast dessert because with our Clover Classic custard, it is the perfect accompaniment to a warm winter-inspired breakfast like our banana pancakes that we are making. It's versatile to use and it's absolutely delicious on its own. And these pancake bananas are also quick to put together even when you have very little time to make breakfast. I mean, Teresa's showing us just how it's done.
I mean, the batter was ready in a couple of seconds, literally. And these are frying beautifully. So you're just going to fry them until they're golden on the outside and a little bit crispy.
There we go.
And you can serve them with your custard. Also delicious with some fresh berries on the side.
Ooh,
That's
some
really,
fresh
really
berries.
nice.
We've actually got a ready-made meal here, our banana-covered pancakes. Now, if you want to get your hands on this recipe, we do have it for you on our website. That's expressoshow.com. I need to bite into it just to show you. I'm going to take one.
They look great.
Just so I can actually have one to eat. There you go. And your banana's inside. This is so yummy. This is so amazing. I love this recipe idea. It is fun and easy. I love that Graham also suggested some honey with this.
Yes, that would be delicious.
Really can go all out with the sweetness.
Yeah.
Well, Teresa, I'm loving this recipe. It is available on our website, expressoshow.com. And if you've missed any of the steps, we have a recap for you.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
beautiful souls, welcome back. It's Monday, of course, and we're going to style me out, and I need your help and your comments on how I'm going to look this morning. Now, with winter being around the corner, well, winter was around the corner, I've been so used to and so privy with my layering skills. Now, being a man of comfort and of leisure, that's what I want in my clothing too. I want some comfort, but I want it to be stylish too, and with summer coming around the corner, I need to upgrade my look. So I started off with something pretty cool. It's this classic V-neck, it's breathable, it's got some beautiful cotton to it as well, and it's got a nice fitted silhouette. So I feel kind of good, I feel comfy, but I still feel like I'm smart. But the problem is that summer isn't just here yet, and there's still a little bit of a chill in the air. So with winter, I've learned to layer, and I thought, let me try that with my summer look too. So I'm grabbing a classic Woolies pure cotton shirt just to upgrade my look a little bit and get that chill off, but still give me that summer feel, right? So I don't know, guys, what do you think about this? Let me know in the social media comments. This is the look I'm going to go with for this show today. I feel warm, I still feel stylish, I feel like I can breathe, but I need you to let me know what you think of the final product. Now, you can shop all these looks at Woolies on the app, online, or at the store, but for you right now, you need to tell me if I'm swagging or not. Yeah.
The planet, to be gentle and treat nature with kindness. So there's always trees to climb, to plant the seeds for a better future. Woolworths, the difference.
Okay, so let's get it over and done with. A bad day at the office for the Springboks, who lost to the British and Irish Lions in that first test, and it was a real test at Cape Town Stadium on Saturday. The Proteas, on the other hand, did record a whitewash victory over Ireland in the T20 International Series in Belfast. Video creator and rugby coach Kutler Sonkosi now joins us via video call with all of the details. Before we chat a little bit of Olympic Games, a mixed bag of results there as well. Coach Cooks, I've got to ask, man, you looked confident on Friday. You looked fantastic, very well turned out. How did the date go?
The date probably went well, but unfortunately the rest of the weekend didn't go well because the rugby lost and the Olympics games didn't go well. So yeah, at least the date went well. So I'm happy about that.
Silver lining, but I see you taking it very serious this morning. You got your test whites on, and maybe that's what our Springboks needed, was just a little added impetus. We were beaten on a couple of levels. Let's talk about that first half. Great physical performance, the kind of physical domination we expected from the Springboks in light of how they had played in the South African A kind of pre-prep match setup. But ultimately, the British and Irish Lions just won too many of those individual encounters, and tactically were just a little bit better in the second half.
Yeah, I think the first half, I thought the Springboks were exceptional. I thought 12-3, they did everything that was right, everything that was discussed and everything we hoped to see from the Springboks, and I thought they were phenomenal. But then you look at the second half, unfortunately, the Lions stepped it up a level. Obviously, there's a few decisions there we feel could have gone slightly towards the Springboks, but we're not going to be bashing any referees today. But I just thought, yeah, the Lions really stepped up in the second half, and I think the rust factor did come to play. I mean, it's been a long time since the Boks played a test. I mean, a test at that intensity. So I do think the Boks will only get better as the weeks go. So the Lions may have gotten that one, but I still am favouring the Boks to finish off the series and win it.
Oh, you've seen a couple of individual players there really putting their hands up. Maro Itoje, just his physicality over the ball. Tom Curry, his physicality again over the ball. They just came out in that second half with a bit more fire. I think the introduction of Owen Farrell added even more kind of aggression and impetus there. What do the Boks need to change? Yeah, we've spoken so much after the World Cup, during the World Cup, about the aerial game. Those aerial encounters, they were just a little bit better under the high ball than we were. What needs to change tactically, or do we just need to shake off that rust, as you say?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, whenever the Springbok loses, there's always that we tend to panic as a country, but I do think that they showed in the first half how well they can play against this Lions side. So if they get that right, I think if they can translate that first half to second half performance and just finish the game more strong and, kick slightly better, under the high balls, the Boks weren't too great. So there's little things there that the little mistakes they made, I think, in the second half, and those mistakes can easily be recovered. But yeah, I'm still fully confident the Boks win. So it's just more checking off the rust.
Yeah, taking a look at that man there who earned his 50th cap in the process. One plus that we can take away from this. Andre Pollard for having a lot of rust with how little rugby he's played, both abroad and for the Boks. And Sia Khaleesi coming back off the back of his, obviously, COVID-19 experience. They both looked up for it. Physically, they looked up for it. And you want that when your point man is kicking that many points and looks like he's got that kind of laser focus. That's definitely one positive.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, Pollard looked great, Sia looked great. I mean, especially Sia. I mean, they were saying he was obviously away for COVID. I'm not sure if he was playing rugby in his hotel room or were they training in isolation. And then Andre Pollard, obviously, like, it's just great when you're a kicker like him. I mean, 50 caps already. Feels like yesterday he got his first cap. I mean, it's like it feels like he's grown up in front of our very eyes. I mean, because he was a kid when he started playing for the Boks. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm like seeing Sia play well. I think it's a great omen for the Boks.
Yeah, man, I can remember covering 100 games for Paul, dude, just a few years ago. It's crazy for me. But nevertheless, a lot of positives that we can carry forward into the next test, and we now know what to expect, a true test of character and of will. Let's now move to the Currie Cup. Some interesting results. We weren't quite on the money with most of these. I think let's start with the Western Province, who bounced back after a couple of torrid performances. They played well tactically, and they were clinical in the way that they finished off and kind of executed that grand plan.
Yeah, 100%. But also Western Province, these days, you don't know which Western Province side is going to rock up. You bet against them, they play really well. You bet, then you bet for them, and then they don't show up. So, but I thought they were very good on Saturday. I mean, yesterday they got a star in Evan Rusk, 8th man. I think he's destined for big things. And yeah, it was great to see them tactically. I thought they were great, and it's never easy winning up in Nelspruit.
No, completely. I agree with you. I think Evan Rusk is destined for a little bit of green and gold at some point. A lot of talk about Kerwin Bosch and his absence from the Springbok fold at the moment. Young man stepped up. The entire Sharks outfit stepped up. Brilliant performance. I think we thought that the Cheetahs were going to carry momentum into this one and maybe would hold sway, but the Sharks were superb.
Yeah, the Sharks were superb. I mean, and led by Kerwin Bosch. I think Kerwin Bosch saw he's playing against the Cheetahs, and that also resembles a cat. So he's like, well, I'm going to be playing against the Lions, so I'm going to take this out on the Cheetahs. And the poor Cheetahs were the wrong place at the wrong time. And yeah, I thought he was fantastic. Great win for the Sharks. I think they've been bumping along in this Currie Cup. I mean, some good performance, some bad performances, but yeah, great performance by them.
Yeah, and then the Bulls were just resplendent once again up against the Lions. They clearly took that form that they displayed so brilliantly up against South Africa, up against the Lions, 40-21 there. And of course, in cricket, South Africa, the Proteas complete that beautiful series whitewash in the T20s. Reza Hendricks and Temba Bavuma absolutely superb. 127 for that first wicket. Just a brilliant, brilliant performance from South Africa. All round bodes well ahead of a World Cup in T20s coming up. Coach Cooks, stick around, my friend. We've got to do it. I know it's not the best results, but we've got to chew on some Olympics gristle. But there is a little silver lining here and there. We'll get into our Olympics chat in just a moment. Welcome back. You're still live with Expresso as we continue to talk a little bit of sport here. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics, of course, kicked off this weekend and in style. And the best in the country have been representing Team South Africa at the global showpiece. It's been a bit tough, but there have been some silver linings. Tatiana Schoenmaker, a gold medal hopeful, undoubtedly smashed the South African and the Olympic record in the 100-meter breaststroke, not even her main event. And that was at the Games yesterday and early this morning. Video creator and rugby coach Kutle Sonkosi is back via video call to take us through what went down in Tokyo. So much sports. I did admittedly spend a lot of time watching like weightlifting and taekwondo and things that you don't normally get to watch, which is great. But I tried to temper my disappointment on the box by getting into the South African performances this weekend. Not the best outing. So maybe let's start with the one real positive. And Tatiana Schoenmaker, we've watched her climb through the ranks locally through kind of her varsity level sport. Absolutely amazing. She is now hitting her straps at just the right time. Absolutely brilliant in the 100-meter breaststroke, and it's not even her main event.
No, I thought she was amazing. You know, obviously to go there the first in the heat to break the Olympic record, I think it sets the tone for her for the next couple of races. I think obviously her position now know what to expect. I mean, she's just swimming at a time, Olympic record time. So the standard has been set for her, and obviously, like you said, it's not even a main event. So we're hoping for a gold there. I think that'll be the perfect result yesterday. So hoping for a gold there, and hopefully that she can push through into the final.
Yeah, man, and I have a feeling a double gold might be in the offing here now that she's got a taste for it on the very highest level. We can also tip our hats to 18-year-old Tunisian Ahmed Hafnoui, pulled off a major shot winning the 400-meter freestyle. Absolutely brilliant there. But we'll be watching, of course, the 200-meter breaststroke, I think, is on Wednesday. But yeah, let's Tatiana get through one thing at a time. And of course, hopefully, as you say, going to dominate in that final. Let's talk a little bit of football. Brazil looking okay, held to a goalless draw, but let's talk about South Africa up against France, 4-3. I mean, a dramatic showdown, and I really felt that Bafana deserved more. Of course, when your opponents come through and score a brilliant hat-trick, it doesn't help matters, but what did you make of Bafana's first outing?
I thought, on attack, I thought we were phenomenal. I thought we created so many chances. I mean, the 3 goals don't do us justice. I thought we deserved five or six the way the chances we created. I thought we played really good football. I thought defensively, obviously, we were let down a bit, but I mean, it felt like 2010 all over again when we beat France. I thought, it was bringing back those memories again of us beating France, and I thought it was on again. It's just a heartbreaking way to lose that game. I thought it hurt me how at the end we lost that game.
Move to gymnastics now. You mentioned Caitlin Rooskrantz. We saw Naveen Diaries in action as well. Pretty good in their opening round, but I suppose all eyes were really on Simone Biles, expecting something, a bit of history being made at this Olympics. And I certainly watched with great focus, and not the best first outing for her. I don't think she even qualified for her for the first final in the first of the 5 events and I mean, she was out and out going for 5 gold medals in this one. Clearly a little bit off her kilter in that opening day.
Yeah, slightly a little bit off, but it's also, I'm sure that the competitors also feel happy that she's finally letting other people get a chance to win goals. I mean, she's been cleaning up at all these tournaments and Olympic games. So yeah, she was slightly off kilter in her first event, but knowing her, she's going to bounce back, and then she's looking to wrap up 4 goals, which is still an amazing feat.
And of course, I tried to cheer myself up after the rugby by watching a little bit of water polo and just got slapped across the face, man. We chatted to the water polo teams before they headed out, and they were very clear about how much of a challenge this was going to be. But living proof over the weekend, up against Spain, 29-4, and just, nowhere close to where we need to be, clearly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, if you look at the Spanish players, I mean, they're all professional water polo players. That's what they do for a living. That's what they don't like. Unfortunately for South Africa, I mean, there's students there. There's some people. There's people who've got to work a day job, and such a massive challenge. And obviously, we don't have the backing of water polo as the Spanish do. So it is a tough challenge. I mean, it is an extremely hard challenge. But there's small things we got to enjoy. Like we have South African women finally scoring their first goal in the Olympic Games. So it's small things like that. I think it is going to be tough, but not every side will be as good as Spain, so which is good for us. So hopefully we can, just get better.
Yeah, just get better, man, from your mouth. Of course, a bit more disappointment in the hockey. In the rowing, I think the rowing, I really expected something in our men's four, but not to be. And then, of course, in judo, Michaela White boy, also losing out via Ippon to, albeit, the Olympic and world champion Paula Pareto of Argentina in the 48-kilogram division. So maybe not the best outing this weekend, but still got a long road to walk. And, of course, in the pool, things are looking bright and breezy. Coach Cooks, thank you so much, my man. We really appreciate you. Please bring us some more positive results when you can next weekend. We'd like to see a gold medal at least by the next time we talk to you.
No, 100%. I think I was the curse this weekend. I think, yeah, I came on. It's been a while since I came on. So all the South African sides lost, so I'll take the blame for it. So next week I'll hopefully be better.
Yeah, look, it's to be expected. You were going on a date. You came on too strong. It happens, my friend. It happens. Coach Cook's bringing us or spilling the tea on all of the Olympic action happening over the weekend. Some mixed results from a South African perspective, but some glimmers of hope that hopefully we can still feel positive about.
We are certainly positive about breakfast this morning. Now, we're doing breakfast with a twist. What if I told you you could have cake for breakfast? Well, that's exactly what we're making. It is a clover fruits of the forest with cereals, and Teresa's here to show us exactly how to make it.
Yes.
I mean, you are spoiling us today. I don't even think I have a song for this. Normally, I have a song for every single recipe, but cake for breakfast.
I'm here for it.
You won me over. You won me over. I'm not a breakfast person, but when I can have something sweet in the morning, ticks all the boxes.
Why not? Why not? You deserve a treat every now and then.
And I love that you're using nice fresh fruit as well. I see some strawberries,
Yes.
is that dried cranberries?
Dried cranberries, yes. I love the strawberries because they add a little pop of juiciness in the cake. Really
Yummy,
delicious.
yummy, yummy. So take us through it.
Okay, so we are using just a box vanilla cake mix, so very, very easy. And I'm going to add some milk and some eggs to that. And you're just going to whisk it together.
And
nice and easy.
And I'm just looking around, only 6 ingredients. Again, screams convenience for me, because anything that I don't have to wash up too many times, it's a bonus. So
just
we're
the
going to mix it together.
bowl. And then we're going to use the fruits of the forest with cereals, and we're using the cranberry and strawberry variety.
Love that.
Really
I guess
delicious.
just the creamy texture of the yogurt will just marinate it all together. And of course we have some nice sunflower seeds in that will also add the crunch aspect for the cake.
Yes, yeah. So I love using yogurt. It gives a nice tender crumb. It gives a beautiful flavor. And using the flavored fruits of the forest also just, it's beautiful. It's so delicious.
Beautiful.
And we're going to enhance that with some fresh strawberries and then our dried cranberries, as you said.
Yay,
So it's going
love
to be
that.
really,
so
really
crunchy,
delicious.
yummy, everything, having all the vitamins and minerals, obviously in the yogurt as well, will be beautiful for the kids, you know. Anytime you can sneak in anything healthy for them,
we do it.
We are on the way, and we're just going to mix it up. Yeah, we have to be. No, you have to be.
Delicious. So that's coming together beautifully. And you're going to pop that into your loaf tin or cake tin, whatever you have. You could even make cupcakes with this. That would work pretty nicely.
And then have a nice little serving for everyone, so everyone gets their own little cupcake. We also spoke about the jars that people's been doing now. Remember the jar tarts? Put that in a jar curry. You see, jar curry. I remembered. And pop that into the jar, maybe even layer it nicely with the yogurt as well.
Yes.
You can get so creative with this recipe.
Shall I pop this into the cake tin?
Certainly.
I would imagine this freezes very beautifully as well. So if you made a whole lot of cupcakes, you could pop them in the freezer. So this you would bake at 180 for about half an hour, but just use your skewer to test it and make sure that it's cooked all the way through. That looks beautiful.
That looks stunning. Just look at that pop of colour as well.
Delicious. And then you've got different options for decorating. So I don't know if you want to make our glaze for us. We're going to use the clover fruits of the forest again with a bit of icing sugar, and you just whisk it together. And then you put it onto your cooled cake. But you could also just use a dusting of icing sugar, or even a drizzle of honey would be really, really delicious.
Now I want to glaze it with more, because why? Do you want it inside the cake? We can have it on top as well. So
yes.
I think I may have gone too much of that, but that's fine. Put
That's
that
going to
there.
be beautiful. So just make sure your cake has cooled down, and then you can drizzle your glaze over and then serve. It'll be absolutely delicious.
And then we're just going to put that in like that. And this is obviously gonna, you said this is icing sugar?
Yes, yeah. So you just whisk it together, and it's a really delicious glaze. And as you said, we get more clover fruits of the forest on there. Beautiful.
Look at that.
That looks great.
Is that good?
Perfect.
Happy with the texture?
Yes.
And I think we have a ready-made cake over there. It's nice and hot. And I think I'm just going to pour it over, give it a nice little glaze.
Beautiful. And it's got some extra colour as well.
There we go.
Love that colour.
I'm trying not to. Oh, look at that. And the cake is nice and hot. It just came out of the oven. And you serve that. And again, who said that you can't have cake for breakfast, everybody? ExpressoShow.com is where you can find your hands on that recipe and the full ingredients list. There we go. Breakfast is served, everybody.
Delicious.
Fruits of the forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Now let's get very serious for a second here. Did you know that drowning is the world's third leading cause of accidental death, with at least 236,000 people losing their lives annually? That is incredible, and it can happen within just 20 seconds. Here in South Africa, a warm summer climate attracts obviously large numbers of people to the beaches, to dams, to pools, to open areas where we want to swim for fun activities, but that does carry massive risk. And there are also many drowning risks for young children lurking in and around our homes.
Such a true fact that is, G. Now, on the 28th of April 2021, the UN adopted a resolution in an effort to prevent drowning and proclaimed 25 July as World Drowning Prevention Day. Now, this is truly a landmark occasion, especially for countries such as South Africa, where the number of deaths from drowning is unnecessarily high, and of course, it's also preventable too.
Exactly, yeah.
But now, joining us this morning as we dive right into this discussion is the Director of Drowning Prevention for Life Saving SA. It's Mziwa Nkolo Mayedwa, and as well as Life Saving SA Athlete Committee Representative Taylor Fullman. Guys, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Good, thank you for having us.
I feel like a bit of a third wheel here. Okay, I have to admit, because y'all been swimming and saving lives for quite some time now. I know you go way back, so great to have you both here. Thank you so much for all of your efforts all year round, because I think, picking up from what Ralph said there, it's one thing to have these incredibly high numbers globally, but it's the fact that they are preventable.
Yes.
I think that is the terrifying thing. Z, maybe I must start with you. Is we know having World Drowning Prevention Day, great. It's one day of the year where we get to kind of shine a spotlight. What else are you guys doing to cast a spotlight on this area?
Well, there are a number of activities that we are actually doing to prevent drowning. And one of them is to share knowledge, share information, and make sure that we educate the members of the public, we educate everyone. And in fact, our motto, we are saying no one should drown, because of drowning is actually preventable. So we have had a number of activities. We have already started, because of we cannot only just wait for the 25th of July. We must always continue, keep informing, keep spreading the message. And we've already flooded the social media, for instance, where we are keeping all the information, where we are educating people on drowning. Even at the club level, we have our clubs who are actually also very much busy to making sure that this day is not only just recognized, but there's some continuity in terms of making sure that the issue of drowning is very much preventable. Yeah. And it starts with sharing the knowledge, start making people being aware of what is actually happening and how this particular drowning that actually can be prevented.
It's not just about reaching millions, one person. Get that one person. Imagine that one mother, that one father gets that critical information and their child survives. Love that.
So true, Gina. Look, we're coming off of the high of yesterday being the 25th of July. Obviously, it's an incredible day. It highlighted so much awareness, and I loved what everybody around the country was doing for it. But Taylor, maybe I can ask you this. Who exactly is actually affected when it comes to drowning in South Africa and the fact that it can also still be prevented? I mean, who is it affecting and how can we possibly change this?
So we see that the sort of demographic that is affected the most severely, particularly when it comes to fatal drownings, it's your younger population. So people under the age of 15 is where we see probably 75% of the fatal drownings. And even over and above that, under the age of 5 is the most vulnerable age group. A lot of it comes down to actually supervision. At the end of the day, it's a huge thing that we struggle with. Particularly at the beach, you can't have one adult for 12 kids running around. It's just not going to be the safest environment for them, and it's not the most responsible way for you to be taking kids out and letting them have a good time. We say that supervision means that you, at any given point, should be within arm's reach of your child. So I know it's difficult given the climate circumstances that we have now. A lot of us are working from home. We maybe have our laptop set up on our phones constantly. So it's very easy to get distracted. But
one of you has your eyes there.
Exactly. All the time. All the time. Because anything can go wrong, and it takes a couple of seconds, and that's it.
Adds even more responsibility onto the shoulders of our lifeguards. How many lifeguards do we have in operation? I know you go to great lengths to make sure that they are educated and you use them as tools to spread that education as well. But what motivates the lifeguards who have to then obviously step in when the parents, when the caregivers, when those can't, at those critical moments?
Well, at this point in time, annually we have over 1,000 lifeguards that are actually being trained, whether from the NIPA level, whether it's juniors, including the seniors. So it's, every year we certify over 2,500 lifeguards that we are recertifying them, those who already exist, who are already within our system. The key motivation, I think, speaking from a lifeguard perspective, is that there's no final deed in this life to actually making sure that you are actually saving another life. I think that's what keeps motivating our guys. That's what makes them keep on coming. Because of saving that particular life is one of the most incredible things that we're doing on a daily basis. So that is one key motivation. And besides the fact that no one should drown.
No one should drown. It is preventable. Hey? From now on, I'm going to call you Nipper, you know that? I'm sorry, you gave me that MC. I'm going to call you Nipper from now on. That's
See, why did you do that? Well, guys, honestly, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I mean, we could speak for days about the amount of effort, the amount of sacrifice that you've put in, and in many other lifeguards and those in this situation as well. So it's encouraging to see how much work is going into this.
Well, we'll do our part to drive that message out there. Thank you so much for your efforts. As I said, daily, we really do appreciate it. Really, really good to have Mzi and Taylor here. Life Saving South Africa, as a service and a sporting organisation, is committed to providing lifeguarding services and to promote water safety across all communities in South Africa, ensuring that every day is a safe day in the water. For us, it is preventable.
Thank you so much, boys, for that conversation. But the time now is 1 minute after 7 o'clock. Time to have another look at what's happening in and around the world. Now, starting with your local news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that South Africa's vaccine rollout will open for people aged 18 to 34 from the 1st of September. Now, vaccine sites will also open for walk-ins with no appointment necessary. People will be registered and vaccinated then and there. Ramaphosa said the country is currently administering 240,000 vaccines every weekday. Now, the goal is to get to 300,000 doses administered each weekday. He also added that there will be sufficient vaccine doses available for the rest of the year. And then moreover, Ramaphosa last night moved South Africa back to an adjusted alert level 3 lockdown, saying the latest figures suggest that the country had passed the peak of the third wave of COVID-19. He also added that the social relief and disaster allowance of 350 Rand per month would be reinstated until the 31st of March 2022. Now, alcohol sales from Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. will again be allowed, as well as interprovincial travel for leisure. Now, the curfew from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. remains. Restaurants, taverns, bars and fitness centres may open, but closing time is 9 p.m. And then looking to news further abroad, Norwegians have been left awestruck by what experts say was an unusually large meteor that illuminated the night sky over large parts of southern Scandinavia yesterday. Now, footage shows powerful flashes of light followed by loud bangs. Experts are now hunting for the meteor, which they believe traveled at some 60,000 kilometers per hour and landed in a forest near the capital, Oslo. Now, such meteor strikes are rare, but one did cause widespread damage and injure at least 1,600 people when it crashed in Russia's Ural Mountains in 2013. And then staying with your international news, the first direct commercial flights between Morocco and Israel were launched yesterday following an agreement to normalize relations between the two countries at the end of last year. Now, two Israeli airlines, El Al and Israel, are each carrying passengers from Tel Aviv to Marrakesh in the first of what are regularly scheduled flights. Morocco was once home to one of the largest Jewish communities in North Africa, and the Middle East, and some 3,000 remain, while hundreds of thousands of Israelis have Moroccan ancestry. And then going back to the world of entertainment, it is Instagram official. Benefit 2.0 is a reality. Now, finally putting all rumors to rest, singer-actress Jennifer Lopez on her birthday has made her relationship with Hollywood star Ben Affleck official on social media. Jennifer posted a set of pictures from her birthday celebrations on Instagram yesterday, and in one image, Jennifer and Ben can be seen passionately locking lips. Now, the images yesterday had some 5.5 million likes on the photo sharing website. Even at 52, Jenny from the block looks every inch gorgeous in her latest photographs. Now, she is seen flaunting her perfect hourglass body in a red and yellow tiny bikini paired with a yellow cover-up and a straw hat. An insider recently insisted these Hollywood stars, who were engaged between 2002 and 2004 but cancelled their planned wedding in 2003 due to excessive media attention before splitting just months later, are the loves of each other's lives. Well, Jenny from the block is back. Well, that is where I leave your news headlines here. At 7 o'clock, I'll be back on the top of the hour. Here is G with another look at the sports.
Thank you so much, Jamie. Let's start with Olympics. After her record-breaking performance in the women's 100-meter breaststroke heats, it was another strong performance for South Africa's medal hopeful Tatjana Schoenmaker in the semi-final early this morning. So yesterday, the 24-year-old set a new Olympic record, finishing in a time of 1 minute and 4.82 seconds, beating American Lily King's record from Rio 2016. Schoenmaker has now progressed to tomorrow's final as the fastest qualifier after winning her semi in a time of 1 minute and 5.07 seconds. Then the Springboks Sevens team started their Olympic campaign with a win over Ireland in their first Pool C opener in the Rugby Sevens tournament at the Tokyo Stadium early this morning. The Blitzboks remained without their head coach, Neil Powell, who is recovering from COVID-19. But on the field, Zane Davis and Impie Visser got us off to a great start, scoring a try apiece in that first half to give South Africa a 14-7 lead at the break. And Justin Geduld, Chris Dreyer and Stedman Gans each got a try each in the final 7 minutes to hand the Blitzboks a 33-14 victory. South Africa will face Kenya in their second pool match, and that's at 11:58 a.m. this morning. Then on to the longer format of rugby. A second half comeback by the British and Irish Lions sealed a 22-17 victory over the Springboks in their first of 3 test matches at the Cape Town Stadium on Saturday. Fly of Andre Pollard converted 4 penalties to give South Africa a 12-3 lead at the break. The visitors fought back in that final 40 minutes to win the first test match against the Springboks in the Lions series. And staying with local rugby, Currie Cup action continued this weekend with victories for the Bulls, for the Sharks and Western Province, who bounced back. Tristan Lates scored 2 tries as Western Province returned to form, beating the Pumas 37-23 in Nelspruit. The Sharks also returned to Currie Cup action in style by beating the Cheetahs 47-30, that bonus point victory. And then the reigning champions, the Bulls, scored a 40-21 win over the hapless Lions, still bottom of the log, and that was at Loftus. And the Currie Cup action will continue again on Friday. That's the 30th of July. Then good news on the cricketing front. The Proteas claimed a 3-0 whitewash over Ireland after winning the third and final T20 international match at the Civil Service Cricket Club in Belfast on Saturday. Skipper Themba Bavuma led from the front, along with Reza Hendricks, who put on 127 for the opening stand to guide South Africa to 189 for 2 in the end. Ireland reaching only 140 for 9 as the Proteas registered an emphatic 49-run victory. Well, that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this hour. We'll touch on them again at 8 o'clock. Right now, let's catch up on the crazy global weather and see what freezing temperatures await South Africa today.
Thank you, Graham, and it is crazy indeed. Forecasters say tropical storm Nepartak, which has formed off Japan's east coast, could hit Tokyo late today or tomorrow. The storm forced Olympic organizers to reschedule rowing events from today to yesterday. Meanwhile, in parts of eastern China, Typhoon Infa uprooted trees and drenched communities in knee-deep water during the past few days. The typhoon hit as the central province of Henan was still cleaning up after torrential downpours dumped a year's rain in just 3 days last week. In India, landslides have claimed 44 lives in the past few days, and in London, buses and cars were left stranded when roads across the city were flooded yesterday as repeated thunderstorms battered the British capital. This was also the case in the Belgian city of Purgatoire, which was left flooded after several days of heavy rain caused rivers to burst their banks. And we remain in Asia as we bring you our international city feature and head on over to the city of Shanghai, which is with a massive population of 24.28 million people as of 2019. It is the most populous urban area in China. Originally a fishing village and market town, Shanghai grew in importance in the 19th century due to both domestic and foreign trade and its favorable port location, and is now the world's busiest container port. Shanghai is a global center for finance, research, technology, manufacturing and transportation. Yellow warnings for the typhoon have been issued for the city, and residents should expect also some windy and cold periods with heavy rain and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. And bringing it back to our own shores, we are showcasing you some of our beautiful sunrise images that we receive. Gavin Pollock from Durban shared this gorgeous and hazy view overlooking the city. What a great shot there, Gavin. Thank you for sharing that. And Samuel B. Jacobs, the second from Beaufort West, took this photo of a stunning skyline showing off hues of blues, oranges and pink. Please do continue to share those gorgeous sunrise photos with us. You can do so on the Expresso Facebook page. And if you were in any of the areas that experienced some snowfall this weekend, we would also love to see any of those photos you might have taken. On that note, let's look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, expect a low of 2 with a high of 16. Mbombela, 6 with a high of 21. If you're in Pretoria today, 2 is your low, 17 your high. Johannesburg, 2 with a high of 14. Mahikeng, 1, 18. Klerksdorp, -1 with a high of 18 for today. Kimberley, 1, reaching a high of 18. Partly cloudy conditions in Bloemfontein, starting off with a cool -3 and a high of 18. Richards Bay, 13, reaching a high of 22. Pietermaritzburg 4, 24. Durban 11 with a high of 23. Mthatha 1, reaching a high of 23. East London partly cloudy, reaching a high of 23 for today. Cradock 3, 21. Gqeberha 13 with a high of 24. Partly cloudy conditions in George. 16 is your low, 24 your high. Cape Town 13, reaching a high of 23. Worcester 11, 23. Sutherland 2 with a high of 17. And Uppington expect a low of 8 and a high of 21 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. A final update coming your way shortly after 8.
You're a little bit cold. Let's warm you up.
Ooh,
let's warm you up.
you're
With a little
warming
bit
up
of
indeed.
Look at that face. That face actually says everything.
the tea.
Do it, man. How excited, first of all, are you about J-Lo, the whole Benny
Oh,
thing? Yeah,
I was living for that. I was like, hey, don't be fooled by the rocks that you got. Hey.
Okay, so we put it to you guys this morning. Tell us a story of the worst date that you've ever been on. We've been reminiscing about some of our absolute howlers. Robin Weingaard coming in with the monologue. Okay, so invited me for dinner and a movie. Get to the movies, tickets for chosen movie were sold out, so opted for another. Went for sushi and was told that I could order anything, so I took the second smallest platter of sushi and was told I was a...
Gimba.
Gimba.
A gimba, like you eat too much, like your gimba.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Stand up,
I don't
walk
really-
out, girl. Then was told to rush because the movie was about to start, only to get to the movies before the trailers even started because he likes to watch the people come in. Who does that? Anyway, movie starts and out comes the cell phone and you are chatting away to whomever and I'm like, what a douche. He takes me home and I still expected a good night kiss, but I closed his car door faster than Speedy Gonzalez and went inside. Robin Weingaard, we commiserate, girl.
Firstly, why are you telling her that she's a gimba? If I want to eat 2 plates of sushi in front of it and I'm paying for my
Yeah,
own
but she
meal,
went. She
I'll
took
eat
the
it.
smallest one. I will eat the whole platter. Don't give me free food, yo.
Is that
Don't
what's your
yeah,
worst
I don't
date?
chow at all. No, I mean, once I had a car that broke down and then I had to push start the car while she drove and it was rough. It was rough.
Was there a second date?
There was, actually. I think she saw how willing I was to retrieve, to salvage this date, but it unfortunately didn't lead anywhere. But it can be a very tricky thing, navigating the dating world.
Definitely. Let us know more stories like that. If he calls you a gimba, whatever he called you, let us know. Expresso Morning Show on S3.
And then you threw your drink in his face.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good hair can make us feel like we rule the world, and when it comes to untamed creativity and personal fulfillment, hardly any profession in this world compares to hairdressing. Now, creativity and knowledge helps hairstylists come up with the best styles, color, and cut for their clients, which leaves us feeling beautiful, happy, and super confident. This style and color trophy is known by the hair pros as the most important and longest running competition in the world. Each year, it is an opportunity for hairstylists from every walk of life to showcase their work, show off their innovative techniques, as well as discover new trends and styles. And joining us this morning to find out more about this worldwide competition, we welcome the National Education Manager for L'Oreal Professional, Taryn Blum. Good morning, Taryn.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on today.
This is very exciting, the Style and Color Trophy competition, which allows hairstylists to become recognized and inspired amongst the best of the best from over 40 countries. Now, Taryn, can you tell us why this is so important for, especially for a hairdresser and their career?
It's an opportunity to be deemed or named the best in South Africa. And it's also a massive opportunity to compete on a global level. There's nothing else like it.
And it's true creativity, because we are all so loyal to our hairstylists. Now, I wanted to know from you, how is the 2021 Style Color Trophy competition different to the previous years?
It is so different. I think obviously the pandemic brought about a change, I think, in every business, and we've seen a massive one in the hairdressing world as well. You know, before where touching an international stylist was so far removed, now it's super easy, you know, online. You can reach out via Instagram, you can reach out via Facebook. Like, the world has just become a smaller place. So before, previous years, the competition was very much hairdressers competing with hairdressers, where in 2021, it's very much at the forefront. It's visible to everybody. The competition is completely online. It's completely driven by online. For the first time ever, the consumer has a say in who's deemed the best.
And that is exciting, especially, you know, everyone believes they've got the best hairstylist, and now we can just expose them to everyone around thanks to going digital. Now, Taryn, I wanted to know with you, with everything that's been going on in the world at the moment, do you have a message to the hairdressers out there at the moment?
Our industry has been so hard hit. The beauty industry, I think, you know, most industries have been hit, but, you know, your hairstylist is the one that's been there through everything. And I think that, you know, it's become a luxury that people are a little bit nervous of potentially. So, you know, not only to the hairstylist, but to the consumers, to you guys out there, reach out to your hairstylist, like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And also, you know, specifically to the hairdresser, it's time, guys. Put yourself out there. These competitions are no longer crazy and way out, where you have to bribe models to do something that they really are going to struggle with afterwards. It is a beautiful competition, and you are good enough. You have the potential. Do it. Put yourselves out there, guys. You deserve it.
They definitely deserve it. They are so hardworking and they make us feel good. Now, I wanted to know, Taryn, how can those interested in taking part and entering, how can they do that, and what are some of your top tips for them?
You can absolutely have a look at the website, which tells you everything you need to know about the competition, how to enter. It even gives you inspiration images, which is www.styleandcolortrophy.l'orealprofessional.com. Super easy. Instructions are all there, self-explanatory. It's really, really easy to enter. Or if there are any questions, anybody is free to reach out to me on my Instagram, which is @Taryn_Blum_pro, and I would be happy to answer any questions or meet any of the needs that the entrants would have.
A top tip for them when it comes to entering?
Balayage, balayage, balayage. And just in case you forgot, it's balayage, guys. Balayage is the top searched look online at the moment. It is worn by over 100 million women worldwide. balayage has a business potential to bring to the salons that nothing else has. If your hairdresser is amazing at balayage and having a bit of a tough time, tell them about this amazing opportunity. Tell them about Color Trophy. Get them to enter and just let's shift the focus to something amazing and positive.
Oh, well, listen, Taryn, you made it super simple, and now we know if you're a hairstylist and you're interested in entering, give the people what they want, and as Taryn said, balayage, balayage, balayage. Taryn, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for yours, and hope to see your entries soon, guys.
Very, very exciting. Now, our hairstylists have been there for all of our major life events, from weddings to special birthdays, anniversaries, baby showers, even year-end functions. They've been through it all, and they are a big part of our lives. Now is our opportunity to build those small businesses by supporting our hairdressers and encouraging them to enter this life-changing competition. It's our turn to make our hairstylists shine.
Listen, I'm taking all the tips, getting the glow up ready, because we're still focusing on self-care here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And really, self-care will change your whole mindset. And who better to show us how to practice this than our very own beauty editor, Miss Knox Marfu. Now, if you didn't know, Saturday, the 24th of July, was International Self-Care Day. Let's see what she got up to this weekend.
With International Self-Care Day on the 24th of July, self-care sessions are a great way for me to check in with my mental and physical well-being. I lead a very busy life and can often forget to take care of the little things. What better way to spend my self-care pamper session than at Casa Labia by Ideas Cartel in Muizenberg. It is a beautiful building with rich history and incredible ocean views. To set the mood, I love to use a mix of candles and diffusers. I've got my favorite picks that smell incredible and leave my home feeling cozy and comfy. Now today I'm going to kick off with cleansing my face, because happy skin means a happy heart. Now I'm going to kick off with the W Beauty Gel Cleanser, and I'm going to be using the Bamboo Facial Brush. I love the way that it gently removes makeup and doesn't cause any harm to my skin. What I love about this product is how easy it is to clean. Just one rinse under warm water and it's good as new. Now it's time to apply the W Beauty Exfoliating Mask. Now what I love is the clay formula that it comes in, making it very easy for it to set on the face and do the work that it needs to do. The best way to apply any mask is to use 2 fingers in a circular motion. That way the product can fully reach every part of your face. Now it's time to exfoliate my hands using the Botanicals Body Scrub. It smells absolutely divine. Infused with mandarin and basil, it feels so good on the skin. It feels so good to give my hands a little bit of extra love. We spend so much time using sanitizer, it's important that we check in with our hands. Rinse your hands in warm water to make sure you get rid of all the excess product. Once the scrub has settled into the hands, it's time for good hydration and moisture. I love using the nourishing hand and nail cream, which smells absolutely luxurious and feels good to the touch. My self-care advice to viewers is to take some time to take care of you, whether it's running yourself a hot bath, giving your skin the scrub that it deserves, or pampering yourself with some aromas, with some beautiful candles. We've got a lot to be grateful for, and I need to do the same. Now it's time to go in with the W Beauty Brightening Serum. Just a few dollops, and you can gently massage it into the face. It's time for my self-care siesta, but before I take a nap, remember to take care of yourself. Whether it's meditating, journaling, or running a warm bath with a good scrub, make sure you take some time for yourself because you deserve it.
told you, who better than Nox Mafu? She really is the girl that she thinks she is. And I have to agree with her, there is really nothing more important than really taking the time to invest in you and your skin. Now you can buy all of your candles, your room fragrances, skincare products and skincare tools at Woolworths. And of course, this is available in store, online or on the app. And now to give you a little head start, Woolies is giving you the chance to win a self-care hamper with everything you need to create the ultimate at-home spa experience. Now this is including a room fragrance and scented candle, a body massage tool, a body scrub and lotion, a face cleanser, a bamboo facial brush and a face mask. You have absolutely everything. Now all you have to do is reply to the competition post on the Expresso social media pages and tell us what self-care means to you. Now remember to include the hashtag Woolies Pampering. The competition closes at midday on Wednesday the 28th of July, and remember that those T's and C's can be found on our website expressoshow.com.
Woolworths brings you the beauty brands you love. From the icons you swear by to local favorites. From clean beauty to coveted fragrances. Your most loved beauty brands. Edited for you.
Can do this. 1, 2.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Moisture Plus, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour intensive moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yeah, welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's Monday, of course. We are live and we're doing the things. Now, when you get a vest like this and a cold, warm weather, well, cold weather, you gotta get warm, right? So when it comes to getting those washboard abs as well, you don't need expense or exercise gym equipment or complex machinery either. You don't need any of it. You just need to get involved and be keen. Now, to get a six-pack from the comfort of your own home, you can join us right now. So once you've strengthened your core, you can protect your inner organs, your central nervous system, you can prevent injuries and reduce back pain. And myself and and the beautiful Zoe are here to show you how it's done. All right,
Thank you. Can I tell you, I think a lot of people mistake core for just abs, but it's this whole band here.
It's the entire support system of your body. It's like the trunk, the thing that keeps you stable. And I think every Olympian right now has such a solid core, and it's a big reason why they're at the top of the game. So you, Mzansi, you can do the exact same thing, or if you just want to start your fitness journey, then this is the perfect place to start. And we're using chairs. You can do this off a couch, you can do it off a stool. No gym equipment's needed whatsoever, just something you can raise your buttocks on. All right, so we are focusing on the core, and both of these movements are, yes, going to hit the core, but at the same time, we are still going to stimulate those abs. Why? Because this is an important attribute for many women when it comes to a date. This is the theme of the show, and I know Jamie Lee Domberg is one that puts this high above her priority list. Six-pack abs, it's a must. All right, so you're going to do this nice and easy off the couch or the chair. You're going to bring your buttocks just slightly to the edge of the chair, just about before it's about to fall off. Now, we're going to have a nice tall posture, keeping our core engaged. What that means, if you don't know what an engaged core is, suck your stomach in, get your navel to go towards your spine, and stay tall and strong. Now, we can start this movement by putting our hands behind our head, and then getting your elbow and your knee to touch each other. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. All right, let's try this out. There we go. That's one rep. Now the other side. Now what you want to focus on doing is trying not to curl your body too much. You really want to stay tall on this movement. So it is going to work your hip flexors a little bit more than it is the core, but at the same time, they're all in conjunction with each other, are a beautiful sling that works together to make magic happen. How are you feeling on that side?
Feeling good, core's engaged.
Core's engaged.
Breathing is important.
Breathing is important. You will feel a little bit of pain. That's that hip flexor just over here. Not pain, but a bit of stimulation, and that's a good thing, because remember, they're all connected. All right, leveling up things a little bit now. We're going to take both our feet off the chair and already engage the core. So you can have your hands at the back of the chair just to support you, but by creating a long lever with weight, we're forcing our core to engage itself. So just being in this position alone, you might find you start to shake a little bit. That's not a bad thing. That means you are using your core correctly. Now, if you want to try in this position, you're going to try, and if this is too easy for you, bring your knees towards your chest, so like a knee tuck. All right? How are you feeling over there?
You're explaining very long. I'm waiting for us to get into the movement.
I'm sweating just trying to stand in this position. Okay, so now we can bring our knees to our chest. Boom, nice big contraction. That's one rep, and then kick it straight back out. Now, for the sake of just isolating the core, Zoe, you want to have our toes dorsiflexed. So that means they're pointing up towards the sky and not in front of you. That's just going to force more core engagement. And you can see Zoe and I shaking on this chair. It's not a tremor, it's not an earthquake. That's just our core moving into overdrive.
Oh my gosh, that one
It's a burner, eh?
That's when I realized, okay, I actually don't have a strong core.
But we do have a core, though, and we're getting it stronger by doing just this. All right, now we're going to make it a little bit more active. Again, having the core engaged, but we're going to get some more movement into this. So these are like flutter kicks or butterfly kicks. Exactly the same position we were in before. What you want to try to do now is balance without your hands on the chair. So already we've leveled it up, and you can see, whoop, starting to shake here. Nice. Having your hands straight out in front of you, you're going to go for small flutter kicks. Now you can point your toes in front of you if you want to, just to keep the leg and the quad a bit more stiff and stable. Nice form there, Zoe. Keep going. Don't give up on me now.
I need to hold on.
Keep working this, and for every single exercise, you want to go for at least 30 seconds, okay? 45 seconds is great, but 30 seconds minimum, and then take a 15-second break. 3 sets for each exercise, and you're almost done with your workout. We got one more for you. This is those obliques, those Levi lines. This is a bonus one. Jamie Lee Dom.
Is that what they called Levi lines?
Levi lines, yes. Jamie Lee Dom is going to love this one. So what we can do with the chair is you want to support yourself with your shoulders stacked, right? So what that means is I have my hand directly underneath my shoulder, supporting me, stacked, and then I'm going to engage my core. My feet are straight out in front of me. My body's just like a plank. Increase the weight by putting my hand up in the air, and now all I'm going to do is lower my hips as low down as I can. There you get that eccentric load, and then squeezing those hips together, you're pinching that Levi line. Perfect form. Nice stuff, Zoe. Good control, good posture. Keep a straight line. You don't want to be bending either way, but of course, 30 seconds on for each side, and this will complete one killer washboard ab workout.
Okay, now speaking of abs, you have to show us your abs.
Okay, this is for Jamie Lee Domberg, right?
Jamie, come look!
Jamie, you want washboard abs, then this is what you're going to get after a workout like this, and if you are getting your food in, head over to the kitchen. We're getting abs done for you. Your main priority, of course, on your longest date wish list, and serving you up, Mzansi. But let's get to the kitchen.
Running. This is Guys, this is what I get paid to do. Just shaking it. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh man, well, there is nothing that we love more than a good old classic breakfast bun. I was going to say than buns. We love abs and buns, but we love our buns maybe a little bit more. And how is this for a twist on our breakfast? We are turning these beautiful buns into bread bowls and then filling them with all of our favorite breakfast ingredients. This is an unbelievably good recipe to add your own twist to. You can add exactly what you like, whatever your flavor profile it is, jam it in there. And recipe blogger and recipe developer, food blogger Teresa Uliak now joins us to show us exactly how it's done. This is not overly technical, okay?
No, not at all.
Make a hole, shove it in there, because we want, this is so cool. This is one of the coolest things we've made in a long time. This is great.
Very cool.
Okay,
yeah.
So where do we begin?
So I'm going to fry off our mushrooms just to start. And I love this idea, the whole edible bowl idea. It's fantastic.
And especially if you've got some rolls that are kind of nearing the latter end of their
exactly.
lifespan.
Especially after the weekend and you had a brine, maybe you've got some leftovers. We've got some little bits of veggie in the fridge that need to go. This is perfect. So I'm just frying our mushrooms in a bit of olive oil. You can use butter. You could add a bit of some herbs or garlic if you wanted to.
Bit of rosemary,
And you just want to soften those and get them lovely and golden. And then a bit earlier today, we fried off some bacon and some chipolatas as well.
Oh, nice.
So you can just cook them to your liking. You can either fry them or put them in the oven, nice and easy.
Roll them off, yeah. I love this. Look, it's a flavor explosion. There's going to be a lot going on here.
Yeah.
But it's our favorite kind of breakfast. And it's not massive. I mean, you could have like 3, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
But it's not going to be, I struggle these days to have a massive cook-up fried breakfast.
Yeah,
but I miss those flavors so much.
I know. So delicious. And then what I'm going to do while that's cooking is I'm just whisking up some eggs and some cream.
Oh, wow.
And this is going to be what binds it all together. I'll just add a bit of salt and pepper.
Cream because you can?
Because you can, yeah. Why not? Why not? This is me we're talking about.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Exactly.
You could use a bit of milk as well, but this just gives it such a beautiful creamy texture and holds it all in there.
Yeah.
So that we're going to use a little bit later. And then are you going to make our bowls?
Okay, so I'm
we're
looking at the
crusty
example here.
rolls. Yeah. These are looking great. So, that looks brilliant.
Restraint, I would say. You don't want it to be too... Have a little bit more, but how does that look?
That looks
Maybe
great,
more
yeah. And that nice crusty roll is going to hold everything in there. These are beautiful and golden.
Taking a little bit more out of the
There we go. Delicious.
I'm just
Shall
creating a
I
bit
start
more
assembling that one over there?
I'll leave you that there as well. There we go.
Stunning. Okay. So all we need to do is we pop our bacon in there. Let's see.
And for me, it's got to be ultra crispy bacon.
Oh yeah.
Got to
totally.
be.
Our chipolatas. Pop them in there. I think we need a bit more bacon.
Yes.
This is so good.
My bowl making skills are improving.
By the time you've done all of them, it'll be...
I mean, you don't want to sell yourself short and then not be able to get more than like, one chipolata and 2 pieces of mushroom in there. You want to get it in there.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to fill these up with our mushrooms. Beautiful and soft.
Oh, lovely.
Delicious.
Of course, you can find this recipe on expressoshow.com.
There we go.
And these are cute as well. There's something that's really cool about them.
Sort of hold them and eat them really, really nice. So I think this guy needs a bit more bacon. Another one of these. And then we're going to use our egg custard just to fill them up. And then you'll bake them and it'll set and it'll hold everything together. So let's see if I can do it without spilling. It's all up to your carving skills, though. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's why. Go deep, man.
Well,
get the biggest rolls you can find and go deep. That's what I'm going to say, because you don't want to skimp on the filling.
There we go.
Now, this is great, because you don't have to overindulge, but you're getting so much flavour crammed in there.
Exactly. And then we're going to finish it off with a bit of cheese.
Yes, you must.
Which you have to do. And these go in the oven at 180 for about 15 minutes. You just want to check that your egg custard is set and your cheese is melted and it's gone all beautiful and
the
golden.
roll will be all crispy on the outside. That would be spectacular.
And then just finish it off with some chopped up chives or any herbs that you like. And that's your breakfast done.
And like we say, I mean, if you've got a flavor profile, if you like something really, like even, some baked beans or whatever you love to have in your breakfast,
absolutely,
put it in the bowl.
Yeah.
But just make sure you find yourself some really big buns. These are absolutely beautiful. You can find this recipe on expressoshow.com. They look...
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live with Expresso and ready for some big news. The University of Cape Town has announced that they will be launching an online high school and become the first university on the African continent, in fact, to extend its expertise and impact to the secondary schooling market through an innovative online modality. And to tell us more about this brand new venture, as exciting as it is the Vice Chancellor of UCT, Professor Pancakes. Pancakes, a very good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you.
Morning, Professor. This is very exciting news, and I think the big question that we all want to know is, why was the decision made to, venture into the secondary schooling market?
There's maybe briefly 3 reasons. I mean, first of all is that we know the challenges that we are facing in our country. There aren't enough schools for all learners to be accommodated. Secondly, we are a leading university on the continent, and our massive transformative purpose, we launched our Vision 2030 at the beginning of this year after its approval last year, and our massive transformative purpose is unleash human potential for a fair and just society. You cannot have a fair and just society without basic education for at least the majority of the learners. And so this is our contribution as a university. We are saying we do not want to be an island of excellence. How can we make sure that we share this excellence that we have at UCT? And then the third reason is to bridge the gap between university and basic education. I mean, at the moment, there's this gap, and many learners come to university, they are not so well prepared for university. Even when they have all the distinctions, they come into university, they're intimidated, they've never engaged with anyone at university, and we want this to be a possibility to close the gap in that way of giving students confidence, but also with the possibility of having pre-university courses, bridging courses that students can take, pre-university courses they can take whilst they're doing high school, bridging they can take after they completed matric if they want to bridge into university, whether they come to UCT or not. They will finish a high school with confidence that allows them to take on university education very well, much better prepared than otherwise.
I love that, and possibly make it a little bit more outcome-based so that they can have a goal of what they want to achieve. You've hinted at it in terms of what you're wanting to achieve, but maybe you can expand on, obviously, besides being online via that platform, how will this be different to conventional South African high school?
So, several reasons. The first one is that in this school, we will have personalized pacing. You know, in traditional schools, teachers simply don't have the time or resources to slow down or speed up based on how a single learner is progressing. Everyone progresses at the same pace because that's just what the schedule says, and that's what the schedule that the teacher will follow. At UCT Online High School, our expert teachers and support coaches will help the learners to decide what their day looks like and craft a personalized schedule for every learner. No learner should ever be bored, and no learner should ever be left behind. If learners need extra tutoring in maths, for example, it's not a problem. Our teachers are available. If learners choose to work all day on their English project, they can go for it. We encourage a personalized pace balanced by a structured learning schedule, which is monitored daily by their learning coaches to keep them on track and help them target specific test and exam blocks. The second thing that's important, this is very important, that's different from our ordinary school, is our teaching is mastery-based. It's sort of much like building a strong house. A good education requires a solid foundation. If a learner misses too many building blocks, their whole knowledge structure can become unstable. At UCT Online High School, learners can progress to the next module if they haven't mastered the one that came before it. And this is called mastery-based progression. And through this mastery-based progression, we ensure that learners do not progress with gaps in their learning, which is especially important in the fourth industrial revolution subjects such as science, technology, maths, engineering. Where gaps exist, our teachers use data to determine precisely when to jump in and assist so that no learner gets left behind. And we know the gaps that many learners progress in schools with. They get to matric and there are many gaps and they struggle to succeed. Then finally, there will be caring teachers and support coaches. The UCT Online High School puts learners first by placing them in the center of their very own superhero movies. I mean, every child has this superhero movie, what they want to be: strong, smart, and succeed. Our multi-layered support system gives the learners all the encouragement, all the tools, and all the support they need to realize their unique potential. We allow the learners to work through their learning path according to their personalized schedule. Our teachers are able to focus on providing individualized support, where we have Ask Me Anything sessions. We also have small study groups and one-to-one tutoring. This doesn't happen in the ordinary school. The efficiencies of our online model radically free up the teacher time to focus on high-impact interventions and relationship building, a true breakthrough for the education sector.
I just want to put you in a room full of potential sponsors and let you go. This sounds amazing. It sounds fantastic. I've only got one last question, and it's a bit of a silly one. Is there an age limit? Because I'd like to go back and redo school in this way. It sounds phenomenal. We're going to put up those admission details on our websites, but a brave new step and definitely needed, filling a gap, as you say, that is vital in our education system. So congratulations, Vice-Chancellor. A brilliant move forward.
Thank you very much.
There we go. That's UCT's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng. They're one of the world's top universities, now starting their own online school. Very exciting.
Yes, very exciting indeed. Now, something even more exciting. We've got the singer and songwriter Damien van der Merwe, also known as Damien Worshipper. Now, he's about to perform his second single. It's called I Am Blessed, and it speaks all about the blessings and being thankful for what God has given us. Damien, the stage is yours, my man. Take it away.
Blessed in the street,
South Africa,
blessed in my home.
let's declare that we are blessed.
That's why
We are
I'm
blessed nation.
singing this song. Blessed
Just
in
where
the
you are,
street,
just clap your hands.
blessed in my
Just
home.
groove with it.
Blessed, that's why I'm singing this song. I am blessed, going in, coming out.
I know I am blessed.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
I am blessed. I got the roof up above me. I got a fine place to sleep. Feeling blessed wherever I go. I got a fine family. I don't know what you came to do. I came to praise the Lord. Through my struggles, yeah. I don't know what you came to do. I came to praise the Lord. That's what I know.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
coming out. I know I am blessed.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
I am blessed. I got food on my table. I got shoes on my feet. Everything I've ever need, God has given it to me. I don't know what you came to do. I came to praise the Lord. Through my struggles, yeah. I don't know what you came to do. I came to praise the Lord. That's what I know.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
coming out. I know I am blessed.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
I am blessed. I am blessed.
I'm blessed.
Nothing's gonna get me down. I am blessed. Nothing's gonna get me down. I am blessed. Nothing's gonna get me down. I am blessed. So much more than blessed.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
coming out. I know I am
I
blessed.
am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
I am blessed.
I am blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
coming out. I know I am blessed.
Blessed, going in,
Going in,
coming out.
I am blessed. I am blessed. Nothing's gonna get me down. I am blessed. Nothing's gonna get me down. I am blessed. Nothing's gonna get me down. I am blessed. So much more than blessed.
Absolutely blessed. I gotta do that cover with you, man. I'm blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much, brother. Don't go anywhere. Damon's gonna be sticking around with some more magic, and we'll see you soon.
Only you can make my day.
Every time you brew a cup of reviving Oranges coffee,
You're restoring land, empowering farmers, and supporting livelihoods.
so every sip touches hundreds of lives.
And offers an inspiring taste experience in return.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast show on S3 indeed. Time for us to connect with you on social media. And we asked you a very interesting question this morning.
Yeah, we asked you guys give us a story of your worst date ever and what exactly happened. Now, we've been frothing over all these stories this morning and you have come through, so thank you so much, Mzansi. We've got Ngetile Sparkles Mdluli. I love the name. Now, this is a story of, it says, I went on a first date after meeting up with my friends at the local Shisanyama. I thought I was ordering a light meal. Can't see you. Can't see you. I said I couldn't go home until I finished eating the food I ordered. That time I was crying, begging to ask for a doggy bag, at least because I was too full. Oh, the eyes were bigger than the belly there. Oh my gosh. But of course, Mzansi, we're going to be sharing these stories and so much more throughout the show, so keep bringing it on. And before we get into more of that magic, let's find out what's happening with Jamie Lee Donberg and the news.
Thank you so much, guys. 3 minutes before 8 o'clock, time to have a final look at what's happening in and around the world. Starting with your national news now, Western Cape Transport MEC Dalen Mitchell has announced the suspension of the B97 taxi route between Paarl and Bellville as from today for 2 months. And this is in an attempt to halt ongoing violence between rival taxi associations that has claimed 24 lives and left 29 people injured. Now, this step was also taken to deal with significant disruptions to public transport in the Metro Southeast region. Now, extra Golden Arrow bus trips have been scheduled between Bellville and Paarl for the next 2 months. Commuters would also be able to use existing Metro Rail train services. And then President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that South Africa's vaccine rollout will open for people aged 18 to 34 from the 1st of September. Now, vaccine sites will also open for walk-ins with no appointment necessary, and people will be registered and vaccinated then and there. Ramaphosa said the country is currently administering 240,000 vaccines every weekday. Now, the goal is to get to 300,000 doses administered each weekday as well. He also added that there will be sufficient vaccine doses available for the rest of the year. Then looking to news further abroad, hundreds of Tunisians took to the streets of the capital, Tunis, and several other cities yesterday to demand the resignation of the government over its handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Cases have been rising sharply in recent weeks, putting further pressure on the faltering economy. Now, the Tunisian Prime Minister sacked the health minister last week, but this has done little to ease people's anger. Moreover, the chaotic rollout of vaccinations during the Eid al-Adha holiday only added to dissatisfaction with the government. And then Norwegians have been left awestruck by what experts say was an unusually large meteor that illuminated the night sky over large parts of southern Scandinavia yesterday. Footage shows powerful flashes of light followed by loud bangs. Now, experts are now hunting for the meteor, which they believe traveled at some 60,000 kilometers per hour and landed in a forest near the capital, Oslo. Now, such meteor strikes are rare, but one did cause widespread damage and injure at least 1,600 people when it crashed in Russia's Ural Mountains in 2013. And then some time ago, we told you about Jalma Ralph from Ruby Castile in the Western Cape, who graduated from Pretoria University with a BSc Honours in Physics cum laude at the age of 18. Now, another South African whiz kid whose zeal and discipline have left many awestruck is Takalo Tebela. Now, this 21-year-old is already a qualified medical doctor. In fact, she's actually the youngest medical doctor in South Africa and on the African continent. She hails from the village of Violent Bank near Bushbuck Ridge in Mpumalanga and matriculated at Lelasedi High School with 7 distinctions at the age of 15. Now, thanks to a bursary from the Industrial Development Corporation, she was admitted to Wits University at the age of 16, enrolling for the 6-year degree Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Her academic excellence has earned her the Golden Key International membership, a recognition for students who are faring brilliantly academically and also excelling at universities all over the world. She is presently doing her practical year at Helen Joseph Hospital in Auckland Park, Johannesburg, and we can't wait to see what she does with that platform. But that is where I leave your news headlines here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Here is G with a final look at the sports.
Thanks, Jamie. Let's start with the Olympics now in full swing. So after her record-breaking performance in the women's 100-meter breaststroke heats, it was another strong performance for South Africa's medal hopeful Tatjana Schoenmaker in the semi-final early this morning. So yesterday, the 24-year-old set a new Olympic record, finishing at a time of 1 minute 4.82 seconds, beating American Lily King's record from Rio back in 2016. Schoenmaker has now progressed to tomorrow's final as the fastest qualifier after winning her semi in a time of 1 minute 5.07 seconds. Staying at the Olympics, the Springboks Sevens team started their Olympic campaign with a win over Ireland in their Pool C opener in the Rugby Sevens tournament at the Tokyo Stadium early this morning. The Blitzboks do unfortunately remain without their head coach Neil Power, who is still recovering from COVID-19. But on the field, Zane Davids and Impie Visser, they scored 2 tries in the first half to give South Africa a 14-7 lead going into the break. Then Justin Geduld, Chris Dry and Stedman Gans all added a try in the final 7 minutes to hand the Blitzboks a 33-14 victory. South Africa will next face our continental compatriots Kenya in their second pool match, and that's at 11:58 a.m. today. Then on to rugby. A second half comeback by the British and Irish Lions sealed a 22-17 victory over the Springboks in the first of their 3 test matches at the Cape Town Stadium on Saturday. Fly half Andre Pollard, playing in his 50th test cap, he converted 4 penalties to give South Africa a 12-3 lead at the break, but the visitors fought back in that final 40 minutes to win the first test match against the Boks in the Lions series. And keeping it local, Currie Cup action continued this weekend with victories for the Bulls, Sharks and for Western Province. So Tristan Lace was on form, scoring 2 tries as Western Province bounced back to beat the Pumas 37-23 in Nelspruit. Then the Sharks returned to Currie Cup action by beating the Cheetahs in style with a 47-30 bonus point victory. And then reigning champions looked every part the champions, the Bulls securing a 40-21 win over the hapless Lions at Loftus. The Lions still at the bottom of the table. That Currie Cup action will continue again on Friday the 30th of July. And then some great news for the Proteas. They claimed a 3-0 whitewash over Ireland. That was after winning the 3rd and final T20 international match at the Civil Service Cricket Club in Belfast on Saturday. Skipper Themba Bavuma definitely led from the front, along with Reza Hendricks, who put on 127 for the opening stand to guide South Africa to a very competitive 189 for 2. Ireland only managing 140 for 9 as the Proteas registered an emphatic 49-run victory. Well, that's a wrap of your sport for this Monday morning. Let's get one last take on the weather. It's cold out there, so you better batten down the hatches.
Thank you, Graham. It is cold indeed, and if you thought last week was colder than usual, well, you were absolutely right. The South African Weather Services says at least 19 low-temperature records were broken following the icy conditions across the country. Temperatures in some areas were well below freezing on Thursday night, which has since been dubbed the coldest night in the country this year. Several records were broken, including in Kroonstad in the Free State, which recorded -8 degrees, Brockenhorstspruit -7.4 degrees, and Warden at -6.7 degrees. Kimberley in the Northern Cape recorded the coldest recent minimum temperature at -9.9 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, several people who ignored the closure of the road over the Swartberg Pass near Oudtshoorn in the Little Karoo had to be rescued after heavy snowfall yesterday. And then a little earlier, we reported on residents of Norway who experienced a large meteor which set the sky alight. So we thought we would learn a little bit more about the capital city, which is Oslo. Oslo was founded as a city at the end of the Viking Age in the year 1040 under the name Anslo, and established as a Kaupstad or trading place in 1048. For those who don't know what a Kaupstad is, it is an old Scandinavian Scandinavian term for a market town that was used in the Kingdom of Denmark and Norway for several hundred years. Sitting on the country's southern coast, it was perfectly positioned to accommodate and serve Viking ships. Today, there are numerous Viking and nautical history museums to visit, a sight not to be missed. Orange warnings for forecast fires have been issued. A maximum of 26 degrees Celsius has also been forecasted for today. And what would our weather segments be without some of your gorgeous photos that you share with us each and every morning? And we've received some stunning ones today. That was via our Facebook page. We started the morning off by sharing this one that was sent in from Brad Bennett from Umkomaas in KZN, who captured the sun rising over the ocean as a boat launched into the ocean. And then Miranda Bloch from Atlantic Seaboard in Cape Town managed to photograph this beautiful rainbow cast over the area after some of the rainfall last week. At 7 a.m. we shared Gavin Pollock from Durban, who shared this gorgeous hazy view overlooking the city, and what a great shot to be captured. Thank you for that, Gavin. And then last but not least, Samuel B. Jacobs II from Beaufort West took this photo of a stunning skyline showing off hues of blues, oranges and pink. Please continue to share your sunrise photos with us. You can do so on the Expresso Facebook page. And if you were in any of the areas that experienced some snowfall this weekend, we would love to see those photos too. Here's a final look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 2, a high of 16 for today. Mbombela 621, Pretoria 2, reaching a high of 17. Johannesburg 2 with a high of 14. Mahikeng 1, reaching a high of 18. Klerksdorp -1 with a high of 18. Kimberley 1, 18, Bloemfontein -3 with a high of 18. Sunny conditions in Richards Bay, 22 is your high. Pietermaritzburg 4, reaching a high of 24. Durban 11, 23. Mthatha 1 with a high of 23. East London, a low of 15, a high of 23. Partly cloudy conditions in Cradock, 21 is your high. Gqeberha 13, reaching a high of 24. George 16, 24. Cape Town 13 with a high of 23. Partly cloudy conditions in Worcester, 11 is your low, 23 your high. Sutherland 2, reaching a high of 17, and Uppington expect a low of 8 degrees and a high of 21 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for this morning. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
And while you're on the Facebook page, please let us know what you thought of the early performance of Damian van der Merwe, because he is back with his second performance, and this time you're taking us through the storm. But I know that this is a very personal song for you. Why is that?
During the production of the song, my mom was in hospital. So this is kind of my heart song, my go-to song when so she's actually my pillar. So that's the one person I can go to just to when I'm feeling off a bit. So this is my go-to song when I'm feeling a bit down.
Well, listen, we can't wait to be inspired. Of course, we put this out there for you as well. We asked you on social media what you thought Damian van der Merwe should sing. We gave you God Will Make a Way. We also gave you Through the Storm, I Am Blessed, and Lily van die Dalles. Of course, 23% for I Am Blessed, 27% for Through the Storm, 43% with God Will Make a Way, and then only 7% from Lily van die Dalles. But of course, right now, here, Damian van der Merwe is with Through the Storm. Take it away.
spoken words are all I need to hear. A promise I can cling to. Lord, I need you now to reassure my heart. And when you feel you can't go on, and you feel all hope is gone, worship your way through the storm. And when you feel there's no way out, and your heart is filled with doubt, worship your way through the storm, through the storm. Don't give up in the middle of your storm. Don't give up, please remain strong. Don't you dare give up, God will rescue you. Stretch your faith beyond belief. And when you feel you can't go on, and you feel all hope is gone, worship your way through the storm. And when you feel there's no way out, and your heart is filled with doubt, worship your way through the storm, through the storm. Ooh, through the storm. You just worship me through the storm.
Damien Vandermerwe here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, blessing us with his voice. Let us know what you thought of that performance. He still has one more. God will make a way in just a little bit. We'll see you after this.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Well, this is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3, and we're in the final hour. And on Mondays, we talk relationships. And relationships can be deliciously breathtaking, but it can also be frustrating when we hit an unforeseen speed bump, like issues of trust, intimacy, family, communication, finances. There are so many boxes to tick. Now, no couple, in fact, is immune from having ups and downs, and how we work through these issues, in fact, these obstacles, those determine how we'll make it in the long run. Now, today we're asking the question, what is the biggest hurdle your relationship has overcome? We have clinical psychologist Asha Dulab in studio, and she's here to help us really discuss this topic. And we're also taking your questions and comments on our Facebook page, so please, if you have any, head on over there. Asha, I'm very excited for today's topic. I think, firstly, let's just kick into it. Is it even possible for couples to not have any obstacles? Have a fight-free relationship?
I don't think that's a possibility. I think obstacles are necessary in any kind of relationship. It actually allows us to get to know ourselves a lot better, and also get to know our partner so much better. So it's necessary, and we need to embrace the life lessons that obstacles actually teach us.
Okay. And I know that there are quite a few people that when there is a little bit of a speed bump in the relationship, they freak out, they overreact, they don't know how to handle it. When those moments happen, why do we tend to always look at it as a negative thing?
We are socialized to see a problem as negative. We shouldn't actually label it as positive or negative. Let's just observe the obstacle for what it is. Sometimes we're too much in this programmed method of thinking of when there's a problem, we need to find a solution, and that already is an obstacle on its own. So maybe sometimes we just need to step back and observe ourselves in an obstacle situation where there's a problem or an issue, and try and get an understanding. And listening is very important. Listening to your partner, trying to understand them.
And when the obstacle, because I mean, in my intro, I was talking about, you know, there's obstacles of finances and trust and intimacy and all the list goes on and on. When one of those pop up, what is the best way to start navigating your way back to that happy medium where you were at?
So remember that a lot of these things come up because of our own childhood traumas, our developmental traumas, our attachment theories. And if you look back at how we attach to our caregivers, it has an impact on how we relate in our relationships. So our personality comes into our play, all our past experiences, and those things will play out in our relationship. So a good start is to look at yourself, understand your own triggers in your relationship in order to understand the relationship that you are in.
Yes, and I think that's very important. I also know that you know, you just said we need to reflect on ourselves. There are a lot of people that also have this expectations that they need the perfect partner and the partner needs to be perfect, and often the reality doesn't match up to that. How can people in a situation that find themselves like this, because that causes conflict when your partner doesn't match up to this ideal that you have of them, how can they take a step back and be like, you know what? This is expectations, but this is reality.
So we are in this battle between trying to find a partner that can match this potentiality of a person. We have this potential of a person, but we need to actually just see the person for who they are in the moment. So if you could take a moment and freeze your partner where they are right now and ask yourself, would I want to be with this person as they are right now? And if the answer is yes, then that's a good start. And then also ask the question to yourself, if I can freeze myself as to where I am right now, am I okay and happy with myself? Because we need to be happy with ourselves.
We need to be happy, and if you do that, like you said, you take the time, you freeze, and the answer is not yes and it's no, what are the next steps?
The next steps is to definitely start a conversation to really try and gain understanding on all those triggers and all those patterns. And of course, sometimes it's not very easy because we've got the egocentric emotions that come up. It's fear, it's shame, it's guilt that blocks us from having those very important conversations. So it's about maybe also trying to get someone to facilitate and help the couple in this circumstance.
Okay, very interesting. Well, Asha Dulip's not going anywhere. We want to know from you, what is the biggest hurdle your relationship has overcome? Asha, she is here, and she's here to help us unpack and discuss this topic. And we are taking your questions and your comments via our Facebook page. So if you have anything and you want to share that with us, you can simply send it through on the Expresso Facebook page.
It captured Mzansi audiences when it debuted back in 2019, and now The Longest Date is back for a highly anticipated season 2, following 16 hot singles who face their fears and grueling challenges. They are then paired off as they try to find love while embarking on extreme adventures.
Ooh, it sounds like the stuff of magic. Now, joining us via video call to share more about tonight's premiere are the show's host and friend of Expresso. It's Chris Jaffe in the building alongside the creator and executive producer, CEO of Brand Gen, it's Samantha Moon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. How are we doing this morning?
Good, thank you.
Very well, thank you, very well. Thanks for having us.
It's so good having you guys here, and so much excitement on the cards. Now, Samantha, let me ask you the format of The Longest Date. Now, it's quite intriguing and has received incredible international attention too. So how did you actually conceptualize the show, and how did you go about even selecting the correct contestants?
So how the show came about is that actually I have too many hot, incredible friends who are still single.
Okay.
And here's the thing, is they go on these kind of Tinder dates or, kind of meetups, and within the first 5 seconds they've decided if they're interested or not interested. And one of the reasons that we kind of put together the show is because we realized that sometimes you need to go through things together. You need to have a shared experience to really kind of get to the meat of a person. Like, could you work together? How are they in stressful situations? Will they leave you behind if you're slow on a hike? And that kind of gives you a better idea into who people are than a 5-minute sushi date, really. So that's how the idea came around. How do we pick the cast? Oh my gosh, we have the most diverse, beautiful group of singles who reflect kind of millennial South Africa. They are all sorts of sexual orientations. We have pan, we've got gay, we've got bi, we've got, heterosexual. People who are interested in people, and they by themselves are extremely interesting to watch. And I have no doubt that the viewer is going to be absolutely entranced by this compelling content.
Now, Samantha, you spoke about hot friends, and that was the concept start. You made one of these hot friends the host. Hi, Chris. I've seen you in action, and it's remarkable. And I've actually seen other dating shows, and I much prefer will you accept this bungee jump than a rose. So this is what I love about this show. I want to ask you, my brother, what can we expect to see in terms of genuine connections and, of course, what we love to watch, drama from this season's contestants?
Well, in terms of connections and genuine connections, you're definitely going to find that there. Obviously, certain people come into, or certain contestants who come into the show with different motives. But once you're in it, there's no escaping, you know what I mean? When they eventually find a way to gel, they're able to move forward a lot quicker and a lot better, and able to overcome the challenges a lot easier. But there are obviously those that don't necessarily feel like they are compatible with the people that they may have been with, but without revealing too much. And that's why I'm kind of just like talking a little bit slowly, because I don't want to give too much away. So there's going to be a lot of drama, there's going to be a lot of action, and a lot of inspiring moments as well.
Oh, and I'm listening to Chris and see how he's dancing around his words. I can see the man's expressions just going crazy, and I know you're not revealing a lot, so we're going to have to watch this to get into the good stuff. But Samantha, let's talk about the show and the first season, because it ticked so many boxes and was so popular internationally as well, because I think the high-stakes action, you had those physical challenges and tasks, but how have you upped the ante for season 2?
I actually feel terrible saying this on television because I don't want anyone to use it against me. But the first season, doing something like this with people that, you know, were not used to the kind of environments that we threw them in, a big part of it, we were just really scared of, you know, somebody getting hurt. In fact, every time I said, Chris is our stuntman. Chris does every challenge. And I must be honest, sometimes watching it, my heart would sit in my belly because I would just think, oh my God, please, Chris. You know, I need you, please. So that was the first season. But realizing how much our singles actually can, how resilient they are, how much they actually can do. We upped our challenges an insane amount. You know, one of our singles actually said, she was like, she watched the first season and to her that was like grade 1 challenges and now they were in varsity challenges. So she felt like, my Lord, were we actually trying to kill them? We weren't. We weren't. We got the challenges right. We got the extreme adventure correct in the first season. What we delved into more in the second season, and that's really where our growth has been. I mean, there's definitely more adventure, bigger adventure. But what we delved into was the drama. When you put 16 really attractive, incredibly opinionated, just really engaging singles together, there's without a doubt going to be drama. And we were better at capturing this season.
It's premiere night tonight, and we cannot wait to see this. You guys have told us a lot, but not a lot of the show, so you're very good at teasing us. So this show, essentially, it proves that falling in love does include falling. So, Chris, if you could capture our emotions, our attention to the premiere tonight, what are the couple of words you'd string together to get our taste buds tantalized for this unique and amazing show?
Extreme, high octane, dangerous, near-death experiences, drama, laughter, joy, indomitable spirits, you know, perseverance, courage, and yeah, man, all-round entertainment.
You missed one.
Wait, what?
Love!
Romance! That's obvious.
Don't forget
That's
the
obvious.
love.
I don't even have to mention that. It's so obvious. Obvious.
Oh, but you two have been absolutely incredible. It's so good hearing it from you firsthand, and we can't wait to see what all this magic is about, and we can't wait to tune in. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing this with Mzansi too.
Absolutely. Keep watching tonight. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Exciting times.
It's going to be exciting. As mentioned, falling in love. Lots of falling. And if you thought adventure was dangerous, try dating. Don't miss the highly anticipated Season 2 premiere of The Longest Date tonight at 9 p.m. only on S3.
And of course, we've got some of the hot contestants on standby so you can meet them before they make their national debut. So don't go anywhere.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's tissue oil and rich body care range for 48-hour rich moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
The name is Angelo. I was born in the Western Cape, Bellville. So I am a personal trainer and a life coach. Mostly I focus on personal training and I focus on people's mental health. Because I need someone I can progress on my level. And I mean, I'm just a difficult person in the day and I need probably that difficult person.
ultimate accessory, the latest shiny thing. Mesmerized. Trying to keep up, but never getting ahead in an endless cycle of spending. In this world of constant upgrades, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, you're back just in time as we continue our conversation on this Monday morning as we talk relationships with Asher Dulab. And today we were asking the question, what is the biggest hurdle your relationship has overcome? We are back with clinical psychologist Asher Dulab to unpack this topic. So do weigh in. If you have comments or questions, head on over to the Expresso Facebook page. Asher, I love this because this is such a necessary topic for us to unpack. And I wanted to know from you, as a clinical psychologist, it is your profession to help couples overcome their hurdles, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a common thread. What are some of those obstacles that you've noticed pop up time and time again?
So very often couples will come into therapy presenting with an issue that really isn't the core issue in the relationship. So they may come in with financial problems or lack of communication, but if you dig in a bit deeper, you will find a lack of inner desire or longing in a relationship, lack of intimacy, but not only physical intimacy, intimacy with oneself, intimacy on an emotional level. And that is, my role very much is to help people, just try and find that desire again, that lust for life. Because many people are feeling quite restricted in the relationships, and one is to feel free to be themselves and free for the other partner to be themselves as well. So a lot of couples will come in with financial problems or, intimacy problems, or the biggest one is communication. It's top priority. But of course, it's always looking a bit deeper. And as I said earlier, we need to look at the emotions of fear, of shame, and of guilt. And when people that are fearing that their partner may leave them for someone else, or they fear they're not good enough. And of course, we all want ourselves to appear good in a relationship, and that's what brings up the shame.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also know that with a lot of them, with a lot of couples, it started off free. The communication started off good. What then changes? Is it just getting into a habit, forgetting to actually make the effort? Because when they started off, that freedom was there, and then it leads to a point where people don't feel free in their relationship. What can we do to prevent that from happening?
I think that, naturally when we meet someone, the butterflies are flowing, we are free in ourselves, we're not overthinking about things, we're spontaneous, we're almost like childlike, curious about the person, exploring. But then we go into this expectation of a person, the potential of a person. We create an image of how a person should be in order to meet our needs. And that image then continuously shifts if needs are not being met. So we need to understand the needs that we need to meet in a relationship. So we need to understand what are our individual unmet needs and be able to authentically express that to your partner in the moment. But most often we struggle because our unmet needs come from trauma, and not many of us do enough work on our trauma, developmental trauma. We all come from trauma, and that is why there's always will be obstacles. But we need to embrace it and learn about our triggers.
And just really dig deep, unpeel those layers within ourselves. Now, of course, each of us also have our individual obstacles. So, for example, I'm someone I don't necessarily trust easy, and I know where that comes from. How do I stop me being a little bit more on the mistrustful side to spill into my relationship?
I think just by you having the awareness that I've got this trust issue is already such a leap in the relationship, to be able to have that conversation with your partner that I struggle with trust, and share your story. And what's very important is for your partner to then listen with complete understanding, with complete care and affection and appreciation for your own individual trauma, for your narrative. That is pure authenticity in a relationship. It takes vulnerability, and couples connect when they are vulnerable. you know, people feel that if I'm vulnerable, I may be sharing too much with my partner, but that is one special mode of connection when we are actually vulnerable with each other.
Okay, well, Asher Dullup's not going anywhere. We're continuing this conversation. We want to know from you. Head on over to our social media. What's been the biggest hurdle your relationship has overcome? And speaking of relationships, we also have something very exciting. In fact, the longest date, the contestants in studio.
Something exciting indeed. Now I know the rest of Mzansi is about to sit up on their chairs and listen. We got some sex appeal coming through for you.
We are spilling the tea this morning. Now, I'm going to put up a scenario for you, okay? What would you do if you were paired up with a stranger and tasked to help each other through adrenaline-fueled and death-defying physical adventures, all for a grand prize, maybe some love as well? Well, that's exactly the premise of the thrilling show, The Longest Date. And we just heard a little sneak peek about what we can expect from tonight's Season 2 premiere from the show's creator and host. Well, we are pleased to be joined this morning by 3 of 16 sensationally attractive contestants. They're looking ready to serve us. So please, can we give a warm Expresso welcome to Angelo, Ikram, and Tyler. Hello.
Yes. Wow, there's a lot of heat in here. I'm feeling it. Oh, there's so much sex appeal.
For once, it's not just you and Klee and Carl and everybody. I'm getting spoiled for choice this morning.
I'm out of my depth here, man. I don't know where to concentrate. But let me chat to you, Angelo, first up, man. I mean, you're a personal trainer, right? Let's get them for the bat. Clearly, we've seen that in your physique. But this is an interesting game show because there's a lot of physical challenges, not just the mental ability. Do you think this was a reason for you thinking, man, I'm going to do well with what I have? Was it an attribute to you, or did it not help that much? What are you expecting in this?
To start off with that, I seek love. I'm not gonna lie. In this new generation, I seek love. Okay, the fitness side was a bonus. To be honest, I'm physically fit. I consider my health and all that. I do functional training, and I believe I'm super fit. I'm not gonna put myself on a high note there, but for me, it's I thought to myself, if I'm gonna do all the challenges, I checked out the previous season and it was a little bit challenging, but then I checked it out and I was like, this is basically nothing as well. So I'm looking forward to all the challenges. Not gonna lie.
I like that. As a PT, that's like a standard response. It's just another rep.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Obviously, we have personal trainer, we have dancer Tyler, but you, Mr. Ikram, you came with a whole new CV, exotic dancer.
What?
A whole exotic dancer. Do you think this is going to be an advantage for you? Because obviously, when people hear that, already they're like, ooh, tell us more.
Well, you know, like most people, 9 times out of 10, people don't usually meet an exotic dancer, so they're usually surprised about the whole situation, you know. It being an advantage, well, if bumping and grinding up in the air on a rope in the water is an advantage, then I think I have a little bit of an advantage.
Definitely.
Grooving on there.
I'm not lying this, and this is not what I want, okay? There's literally someone in my ear, my directors is asking, you need to show South Africa what they can expect for this season. So if you do want to give us a little bit of a dance, just right now, just stand up to your feet. Just
you really want that?
This is what we do. Mzansi needs to know what they're going to be watching tonight. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah,
so,
he comes in the house.
So it's always in the hips. There's no song playing, so I can't move.
Come
on.
Oh, yeah.
There's a song just for you, Ikram. Where are you going?
Okay.
Come on, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Hey! Okay. Ikram?
Yes, please, Ikram in the building.
Ikram? I still need to tell you that this is a breakfast show, okay? So
you asked for it.
I'm so sorry about that. But again, you're welcome.
Oh, the longest dates first compared to Ikram. I don't think we're ready for this. I mean, you guys haven't even started the show, and this is the heat. I don't know. I can't even deal. Listen, there's so many questions I want to ask, but Tyler, apart from all the sex appeal and all this masculinity, I mean, this is really a show about love at the end of the day, right? So yes, we've got all these attributes, but for me, it's more important than that. And why do you think maybe that being yourself, being that authentic version of you, is maybe something that could be important in a game show like this, or a dating show like this?
Personally, it's very important to stay true to yourself, because at the end of the day, like you said, it's a dating show. So the 16 contestants are here seeking for love. So you want to go on a dating show with with catfish personality. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important to stay true to yourself so that you can actually connect with the partner that you're being paired up with. I know for me, but again, people have their own ways of dealing with things, and you know, so I think it's highly important to be yourself at all times.
I love that.
And speaking about that, because obviously there's a lot of physical challenges involved, but also sometimes you just don't connect with people. I mean, I've seen snippets with you and your partner, like literally like scratching each other's eye out. There's been so much drama. How do you guys overcome that in this season, where you're just like, you know, we're not connecting, but we have to make this work. We're in this together. We want to make this work, because you are, at the end of the day, also still seeking for love.
Well, I feel that communication is key. That's the most important thing, especially when you're hitting those what would I say, those heavy obstacles, you know, mentally. Communication is always key. And if it's not there, then
it's going to be a long
You're going to see it.
Oh, absolutely love it. But look, Mzansi, don't go anywhere, because Angelo, Ikram and Tyler are still sticking around. We're going to be chatting more about all the good stuff and season 2 of The Longest Date, which is happening just a moment. But of course, don't forget tonight, that premiere is happening 9 p.m. only on S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We are back and we are talking relationships, and we're asking you the question today: what is the biggest hurdle your relationship had to overcome? Now, we are back with clinical psychologist Asher Dullab to unpack this topic, so do weigh in with your comments and questions on our social media pages. I wanted to ask you, Asher, I know that, you know, when it comes to couples, they often have what they would call their deal breakers. If we cannot overcome exes or family or finances or this, the relationship is doomed. That sometimes happen. But what is the best way to really deal with your relationship, to not put that, if it's not this way, it can't work?
I think let's not be too clear-cut on it. You know, I think that we go back to our conditioning again of how things should work out, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. I think that couples must look at obstacles in a way that they can overcome it, go through it. What one couple may be able to overcome, another couple may not be able to overcome. And another thing is, we tend to compare ourselves with other couples. Yeah, and we need to maybe just look back into our own relationship and know that our relationship is unique. Say that to yourself, you know. And with that uniqueness will come your own unique challenges, but also your joys. What's most important, Zoe, is that you have to be an expression of joy in your relationship. Nobody wants to be with anybody that is not expressing joy and happiness in a relationship. So when you have that, you're on a good footing already. Ask yourself, am I an expression of joy?
That's a good question to ask yourself. Now, we got some comments that came through on social media. The first one came through from Nomwazi that says, the biggest hurdle that my partner and I have overcome in our relationship is distance, as he's currently stuck in another province due to work, and he has gotten himself clean at rehab as he he was addicted to drugs from a young age. He's making every effort to stay away from them as he is currently recovering at home with his parents. Now, for couples that have the distance between them, that is an obstacle that, you know, a lot of couples go through. What advice would you give to them?
It's definitely a variable. We can't control the distance, but, you know, I think there's a lot of appreciation that develops in a relationship like that. We really value and appreciate our partner in other ways. You know, we don't take them for granted. We long, it maintains that longing and that desire in a relationship. So, you know, the distance makes the heart grow fonder.
It does indeed. Now, I know quite a few of my friends, they sometimes have got into this rut where the obstacles that they are fighting about or arguing about, it's the same things and it just doesn't change. What advice do you have for couples that constantly find themselves arguing or facing the same obstacles and it's just not changing?
So that's an indication of unresolved trauma. So let's take an example of trust. If that keeps on coming up, it's something that really goes back into the past of the individual. And if it's coming up all the time, repetitive, also look at the way you are responding to that. There's a need that is not being met. And generally, you know, the partner will play out the same repetitive pattern in trying to deal with that trauma. For example, they may go silent, or they may run away and avoid the argument, or they may start labeling or judging their partner, not wanting to feel their own kind of shame or experiences. So really going back to try and understand where did it all start, because it is related to a trauma.
And I know we have to wrap, but there's such a fine line between, you know, becoming toxic and a relationship that you're trying to work and save at. Now, Asher, I know that we have to wrap up. Just one final parting advice from your side for couples that are in a position where they now have these obstacles and they feel like they're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, if you find that you are constantly struggling in a relationship, there's repetitive patterns coming up, and it's depleting you on more than one level, energetically, your heart, your mind, your physical connection with your partner, then perhaps it's time to really look at the relationship and really look at the blend. Ultimately, you want to be happy in a relationship. So if you're not feeling happy, then take a step back and really look and ask yourself, certain existential questions, what do I want?
There we go. Well, Asha, thank you so much for joining us today. And do make sure you follow her on Instagram at Asha Dullab, where you can stay in touch with her. And when it comes to obstacles in relationships, they are pretty common. However, the important thing is not to allow the obstacles themselves to get the better of you and you as a couple. And, you know, it's also important to work through them. Now, if you would like to seek professional help in any other areas of your life, when you're facing some difficulties, then you can reach out to Asha Dullab by emailing her at info@ashadullab.com. And for general life tips, you can also follow her on Instagram at Asha Dullab.
Always a pleasure chatting to you, ladies. Thank you so much, Asha, again, for coming through with all the good stuff. But we are still carrying on the conversation with three of South Africa's possibly most good-looking people right now. And, of course, we're talking about that premiere that's happening tonight. It's The Longest Date, Season 2. It's happening at 9 p.m. right here on S3. But let's get back into the good stuff. Now, gents, and, of course, Tyler, I was chatting to you earlier, and I wanted to know, I mean, I heard a rumor that you really are in the market and are wanting chocolate slab abs like Angela over here, right?
I mean, come on. So, I mean, it's everybody's dream to have that perfect ab, that perfect body. And then I walk into the house and I see Angela, I was like, goodness gracious, what did I get myself into? So now 2 C's, but I'm like, okay, that's definitely the goal. So, and again, I'm a dancer. I prep for as much as I could coming to the show because I train every day with my crew, Redefy. So, I mean, there's not any amount of preparation that you can prepare for such a show like this, if that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to have Angelo's abs, like chocolate back, guys.
And I have to ask this because obviously I'm watching, like, as the rest of Mzansi, we've not seen the chocolate abs yet. So, Angelo, again, if you want to show us your abs, now's the time to do so. If you want to just stand up for us, because again, the people want to see this.
So I'll give like a little piece of it, because I mean, it's really
a little teaser, little teaser for tonight. Yeah.
Jamie is ridiculous. She's done with work for the morning.
If I ever told you that I hated what I do, I do not. I live for this.
And I was going to ask a genuine question about, like, do these abs help you with the challenges? And clearly that's not even important.
They do.
No, it's
They
all
do.
about
I
the
will
looks.
tell you that.
Yeah.
For the longest date, you need all of that, guys. No, I'm joking. Jokes aside, Ikram, you came in here looking for love. It was not just about the physical. It was not just about the abs. You actually wanted to make a connection with someone. Do you think this is the best way to do it, going on the longest date, as opposed to the hookup culture that we find in today's
Swipe
day and
right
age? Like the, hey.
Well, I'd say coming onto the show, I had an open mind, a very open mind, you know. And when choosing a partner in a relationship, I'm a very selective person. And I believe everybody's beautiful in their own way. So to be honest with you, hell no. I'd be a lying mother sucker if I told you yes. You know, they brought me to a buffet line and didn't have my flavor, so it was either make away or do away. So I had to make a choice. And yeah, I just feel that, you know, when you're with somebody, both of you have to have the same drive and determination towards the goal that you are heading at. If it's only one-sided, then you will inevitably have an imbalance. And it will be impossible to reach an equilibrium like the others that are on the same wavelength, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it was definitely
a challenge.
An experience.
I'm literally sitting here and I'm dying to see who you get paired up with, because just checking your personality, you got that mind, body, you're looking for a deep connection. Ooh, there's going to be a tough task at hand. I can't wait to see who you get paired up with. Angela, let me chat to you though. I mean, we're talking about the mind and the body and the strength, and when it comes to mental health, that's something I believe that's quite important to you. When preparing for a show like this, I mean, you got that Stockholm syndrome where so much is happening so quickly. There's physical challenges, there's mental tasks at hand. How do you mentally prepare for this intense moment that you're going through?
Okay, so for me as a life coach as well, and I focus on mental health, and as we heard earlier as well, like traumas. Okay, so one of my traumas is also like, I just love to be alone, and it's actually, for me, it's actually such a bad impact, basically it's negative, you understand? And then it was challenging to go out there and then start finding love and start speaking to people as well and opening up, and that for me was the word challenge as well, just to find someone and start sharing basically and building trust and all that. So that was my fear as well. And then come to mentally as well, and mental health, or just not my health but mentally, the challenges as well. So I believe there is how can I say, like, massive, hectic challenges, okay? And my trauma is basically heights as well, so that was also something I have to deal with. And guys, maybe this guy be active and all that, but I am hella scared for all that type of challenges. But let's see how it goes.
You should be careful saying those things, because they'll just throw their challenges in this combo.
I believe, but that's also part of mental health as well, to overcome certain things, as we heard earlier, and that's how trauma is. So if you can overcome it as well, it's you'll just be a better person in the day. And where you start is the foundation is you. So let's do that, and let's all focus, and let's see how it goes.
Sure. Angela, Ikram, Tyler, I don't know if you guys heard that. The phone was ringing, the DMs are calling. People is wanting to go on dates with you guys. But tonight is a date, everybody. If you thought adventure was dangerous, try dating. Don't miss out. The highly anticipated Season 2 premiere of The Longest Date tonight at 9 p.m. only on S3. Get the popcorn ready, get everything ready, because they're ready to serve you guys.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's for Men, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour moisture and no stickiness. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
Welcome back. Just enough time to squeeze in one more performance. Singer and songwriter Damian Vanamava will be performing his rendition of the gospel classic God Will Make a Way by American Christian singer Don Moen. This track is one of the first gospel songs Damian performed, in fact, and it talks about God making a way in situations where there seems to be no way. It's all about trusting that God knows what is best. Here is Damian, a worshiper, with our, I think, poll-winning song for this morning. I think you guys made a good choice. God will make a way.
Steaming hot breakfasts, soul food Sundays, and slow-cooked dinners that will warm any winter. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.